most of the time, and then he starts to make mistakes. Well, this year's been phenomenal. He's having the best year of his career, had the best game of his life last week. Now you don't just need to be consistent. You don't need to duplicate that. That would be nice, but your head coach, Dave Dickerson, wants you to be consistent. He wants you to play the way he played. Dave Dickerson threw almost 2,500 passes, and he only threw 50 interceptions. That's like an interception every 50 passes. That's what Vernon Adams needs to do. They got a good defense, a great running game. If he can do that, this team has an opportunity to do some great things in the West.
Yes, and we've seen the evolution of Vernon Adams Jr., and this is the best that we've seen him play. I think the most impressive part is definitely that. He hasn't thrown an interception yet this year, and he's known to have done that in the past. And tonight, he's going to face the most interchangeable defense and unique defense with the Montreal Alouettes. This is going to be a test for him. He hasn't seen a defense like this one. And Noel Thorpe, as we know, always likes to throw different blitzes, and he's going to be excited to do that against Vernon Adams Jr. But this is going to be an exciting game tonight. But again, we talk about Vernon Adams Jr. and the weapons that he has around him. He has that fail-safe in Dedrick Mills that I love for him, because even when things start
I'm going with Jalen. Tyson's been tearing it up, and I think Jalen wants to say, okay, don't forget about this twin brother over in Calgary.
He's home. It's going to be Tyson.
Oh.
I think Milt's just saying it because he doesn't want Tyson to break any of his records. True story?
You might be onto something, Kate. I told you not.
For the win lifestyle.
For a year, if 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns, you could win $1 million. Let's get you to Montreal. It's Rod Smith and Paul Lapalisse.
Thank you, Kate, and a beautiful summer Saturday night here in Montreal. We're up on the hill at Percival Molson Stadium in the campus of McGill University for the first of a back-to-back between the Alouettes and the Stampeders. Two teams, Lapo, that feature explosive quarterbacks, and both, by the way, have this in common. They have a star receiver by the name of Philpott. You got Jalen with Calgary, and, of course, the leading receiver in the league, Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson Philpott does so many great things, from crazy, unbelievable one-handed catches to leading all receivers in yak yards, 211 yak yards. He's got explosive abilities. And then you go over to Jalen Philpott. Jalen moved into the boundary slot position this year. Gets him closer to the throws, gets him closer to balls. Last week, 2 touchdowns on 7 catches. He's been amazing this season for the Stampeders.
Dave Dickinson, in his 10th season as Calgary's head coach, they had an 0-2 start, but they won their last 2, including a 22-point victory over the Argos last week at McMahon Stadium. And Jason Moss, 4th year in the outside line, 3-1 start, coming off the bye, narrowly beating Ottawa, though, here by just 2 points 2 weeks ago. As mentioned, these two teams will meet again next Saturday at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. There's Mario Alford, and he is back there along with Liam Talbot inserted into the lineup, the rookie out of the University of Windsor. Alouettes won the toss. And ball to begin. Molson Stadium on a Saturday night. Jude McIntyre kicking off for Calgary. We're underway in Montreal, taken by Alford, and he gets it across the 40. Good place to start up near the 50-yard line for Davis Alexander. Talk about no picks, 7 touchdown passes against Ottawa, 22 for 30 for 345, 2 touchdowns.
We're going to have a great game tonight watching quarterback play. Davis Alexander, as a second-year full-time starter, you say sometimes young quarterbacks are going to push the ball downfield, throw interceptions, 0 interceptions. Awesome to see. Gonna look forward to seeing him and Vernon Adams tonight.
Well, you talk about big play VA. How about big play DA? I mean, he's been loading it up early this season. Let's see what they do here. Faking the handoff to Travis Tice, rolling to the right, throws it down inside the 45, and guess who? Into the act right away. It is the CFL's leading receiver, Tyson Philpott.
Take a look at the starting offense. Nick Callender, 6 years in the league from Colorado State. He's anchored an offensive line. They've given up the fewest sacks in the Canadian Football League because of Davis Alexander's legs. And Travis Tice, he draws back in as a starter. Stevie Scott returns to the injured reserve. So Travis Tice, who is very explosive, low center of gravity, love everything that guy does with the ball in his hands.
To the Calgary 42, and that completion for a first down. Another play action pass coming up here with Alexander throwing to the right again. Open receiver. And Tyler Snead, another one of his favorites, gets it down close to the 20. So here come the Alouettes moving quickly.
defensively for the very important Clarence Hicks, unbelievable athlete on the perimeter. It's going to be important for him to use his legs and kind of watch what happens with this run-pass option that the Montreal Alouettes like to do. Kyle Wilson at the linebacker position. The will linebacker has to play in a lot of space. These DBs, these guys are going to have to be able to play in space because there's a lot of screen passes, and Zy Alexander had 2 picks last week.
Gain of 19, another 1st and 10 at the 23. Taking that deep shot and looking for Snead. Adrian Green is right there with them. Falls into the end zone, incomplete.
So on this drive, as we start to see what happens, the first thing you get out of this drive, Rod, is quarterback uses his legs, gets a ball on the perimeter for a throw, and then 2 heavy play actions, and then push the ball downfield. That's why these guys don't give up a lot of sacks. They have really good run actions that the defensive line, it's first down. They're early down plays where the defensive line's not teed off, ready to rush the passer. They're thinking run plays, and then all of a sudden you have a shot component to it.
Alexander coming into the week 2nd in the CFL in passing yards. The throw again quickly, though, to the left, just inside the 20. That is caught by Kasim Ferdinand in his 2nd year with the Alouettes, but not nearly enough, of course. It's a 3rd down coming up. Field goal unit coming on.
Ferdinand out of Carlton, very good receiver here. You see the number 2 receiver on your screen. Just a quick little hitch play. Stampeders trying to show a blitz, bailing everybody out. Just going to keep them to an easy completion for the field goal.
So Joseph Zima will put this ball down around the 27 of the Calgary Stampeders for Jose Maltos Diaz. 12 for 13 and a longest of 50 on the year. In his 7th year in the CFL out of Monterrey, Mexico, and he puts this one through. Quick points on the board in the opening minutes here on a Saturday night in Montreal. Davis Alexander has had his turn. Now comes an ex-Alouette QB having a game for the ages last week in Calgary. We'll see Vernon Adams Jr. in the Calgary offense coming up.
Last week had one for the ages. We had to go so fast on all these touchdowns because there's 7 of them. Jalen Philpott for the first one. Nice one. Deshaun Brissett for this one. Jalen Philpott another one. Tevin Jones gets a big explosive play up the sideline right before the half. Clark Barnes on this big double move. And then why not? I'm just going to run it in for one of my touchdowns. And then I'm going to throw it left-handed to Deshaun Brissett for my 7th touchdown of the game. Almost didn't get that pack in before we started playing.
Did you like my Benny Hill reference?
I loved it. I loved it.
Couldn't resist. Here's VA now. 6 touchdown passes last week. First play from scrimmage here in Montreal. And it's off the fingertips of Tevin Jones, who had a touchdown catch, 73-yarder last week in the victory over the Argos, but incomplete.
And the best thing about VA's numbers is we talked to Dave Dixon in the last 2 weeks, or at least I have, is like he's just so happy that he's seeing the pictures, checking it down when it's not there, taking the shot plays, 0 interceptions. So both quarterbacks tonight, Alexander, Adams haven't thrown an interception all season. That's why you win football games, protecting the football.
6 touchdown passes, no picks last week. He tied a franchise record. It's also held by his head coach Dave Dickinson, but flags out before the ball is out.
You can see a little bit of the chess match here going on. Like the Calgary
offside, Montreal, number 91. It's 5-yard penalty and remains 2nd down.
Calgary Stampeders are using a lot of, they're doing early in this game, a little bit of heavy cadence because you get a little bit of push, everybody's jumping in. They're not calling a play, they're trying to see the coverage because Montreal does so many things before the snap with linebackers up and then bailing guys out. They're trying to help not only VA, but also the offensive line identify who's the rushers.
Got Adiemi Berglund on the offside, so it's a 2nd and 5 now. They move up half the distance they need to move those sticks. Adams to throw. Has time, but is chased around, and he is dropped. David Perales, and newly inserted on that Alouette defensive front, says, how do you do? And picks up his first sack about the fastest way you can.
First-year player from Fresno State getting his start. VA, he does a good job of beating the hands of Coley. Once he goes around Coley, Adams has pulled the ball down. He couldn't see where he wanted to throw to. That's all you're trying to do. Can you slow down the quarterback's primary read so the cavalry can get there? Really nice start for David Perales.
Gets his first CFL sack. Mark Bassett is in, standing inside the Calgary 25 to kick it away. A good little stand there by the Alouette defense, and Calgary's first possession. Here's Alford at the 30 and just goes to the right after a 44-yard punt, picks up a couple of yards, heads out of bounds. Third meeting between the Philpott twins and the CFL. We flash back now to the last time. There's Father Corey, used to be a star running back in the CFL, proudly watching, and there is Jalen with a touchdown and 80 yards total.
When you're ranking the receivers, I swear to God, I spent so much time just keep watching. Let me watch Tyson again. All right, I got to go. No, let me watch Jalen one more time. It was
tight. Not much doing there against the Calgary front. Markel Lee, the middle linebacker, coming in to help out Charles Wiley on that tackle.
And again, both guys are the most targeted players for their football teams, and they do it in a lot of different ways. You'll see Jalen Philpott get speed sweeps at times. You're going to see Tyson Philpott in the screen game. They put him out to the wide side of the field, get him some space, and throw screens to him, and then he's going to 2 plays later be going deep for touchdowns. So these guys are integral to both teams' offensive system.
12 catches, 198 yards for Tyson Philpott last game against Ottawa. That's quickly to Snead on the second down and long. It's going nowhere. Zy Alexander, and a great addition to this Calgary defense, stopping him in his tracks, and now the Alouettes will take their turn to punt it away.
One of the most important things that's got to happen tonight is what's happening right here. You got to wrap people up. See Zy Alexander coming in here. This team for the Montreal Alouettes have a bunch of guys who can break tackles, and you've got to make sure all these wide receivers, whether it's Snead, Philpott in space, you've got to wrap them up.
Tyreek McAllister has 2 return touchdowns for the Stampeders this year. One at a punt return in Kelowna, and before that a missed field goal return of 120. Takes it here at the 24 for Calgary. McAllister after a 47-yard punt, and he works his way up to the 35, a return of 12 yards. So now Jalen Philpott comes on with that Calgary offense. 7 catches, 83 yards, and a couple of touchdowns from Vernon Adams Jr. last week. His turn. Calgary football in Montreal. Calgary's offense scored early and often last week against the Argos, and Jalen Philpott was a big part of that. As mentioned, he had 83 yards receiving, but a couple of those 4 touchdowns, the longest of 31. And Jalen Philpott, what an offensive explosion for VA and the rest of that bunch to make a statement. And proud pop Corey Philpott, mentioned a star in the CFL back in the 90s with BC and then Winnipeg. Looking on, and you notice Corey's shirt. Very careful with Alouette colors, Stampeder colors as well. Divided right down the middle.
Player from Washington State, he's got to open holes for Dedrick Mills going against the defenders on the interior. All right, Tevin Jones having a great sleepy year. Back-to-back games with explosive touchdown. He's got 4 30-plus plays on this team. Been a great free agent addition from 2 years ago.
Dedrick Mills was averaging 5.6 yards a carry heading in, but lost yardage there. 2 yards in that play, and they whistle this one down with a flag out.
Procedure, Calgary, number 60. It's 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Getting the left tackle, Deontay Demery, so this time Calgary get pushed further back, a second and much longer.
So on every second and long here so far, we've had 2 second and longs. They've gone on a hard count and to readjust. Deontay Demery didn't hold his water. Demi Berglund didn't get over enough for them to draw that foul. He's got to hold his water, and what does that mean? Stay in the line of scrimmage line.
Crowd picks up here at McGill, 2nd and 17. Vernon Adams stands in, running out of time, does take off. Pumping, runs, gets tackled too. Ball comes out and looks like the Alouettes have it. Adams was scrambling, and it looks like we have our first turnover of this game as he gets tackled. Nice job there. Najee Murray in there in the open field, and the ball came out. Mustafa Johnson actually forcing it out with Murray. Montreal ball.
Najee Murray comes up big, chasing ball. He was a game time decision, but as Vernon goes to scramble, You got to worry about his ability to use his legs. Mustafa Johnson starts getting involved. And then Najee Murray comes in at the last second. Watch this right here. Slow it down, bang. He knocks the ball out. Vernon still doesn't have his knees on the ground. That's a spectacular play. Understanding somebody's already wrapping him up. I'm going to go in, try to knock the ball out. So great job by the defense of the Owls. Get the takeaway in the short field.
Just the third time Calgary's turned it over. Still the lowest total in the league. Montreal ball at the 38 of the Owls. Alexander scrambling to the right again. Caught by Philpott. Tyson Philpott inside the Stamps 10 and a first and goal Montreal.
This is what makes this team so difficult. They've been running screenplay after screenplay. They fake the screenplay and then go deep. Calgary covers it perfectly. They got it handled. What happens? Davis Alexander scrambles and then locates a dime, and Philpott, that's still a difficult catch. Lays out, high points the ball, spectacular catch. Very difficult when you're firing all cylinders like this Owls offense is.
So the first Philpott to strike it big is Tyson, setting up the Alouettes in the score zone here. Alexander and off to the left. Looks like a double pass. Touchdown! Wow! Tyler Sneed to Tyson Philpott. How about that? We're getting on the board first.
Fake the bubble screen or throw the bubble screen outside. This team runs a lot of different screen passes. They go ahead, they flip it out there, they block for him, and then it's a block and go. Green can't recognize it. It's so hard for those DBs because now they want to come up and make the play on the screen. Great location by Sneed. Philpott makes the catch on the screen and go.
Well, we know Tyler Sneed can throw a football. We've seen him in those double passes before. That one, Lapo, looked like he was going too far to the left. Turned out to be brilliant, as you say. Adrian Green couldn't get back.
Yeah, he maneuvered around Adrian Green, put it only a spot for Philpott. And again, those are difficult to do, but the execution at the blocking at the point attack was excellent. And then Sneed, did a great job protecting that throw.
Tyson Philpott. And the CFL's leading receiver adds to his totals right here.
Here's the first play. I mean, 2 plays, touchdown after the turnover. That's what you want to do. Beautiful throw to Tyson here. And then here's the bubble screen. Now, what's going to happen? It's going to be a bubble screen. These guys are going to block on the outside. And as they block, DBs jump up. They're protecting for Sneed. You can Sneed. They make sure it's a lateral. And then he just goes ahead and does a jump pass, puts it in a spot. Hey, Tyson, I got you. I'll put you in a spot.
From the 5'7" quarterback, and fist bumps up in the booth,
right
Anthony
there.
Calvillo.
Pretty excited.
Tyler Sneed with the jump pass too.
Fun stuff. These guys are a lot of fun to watch.
Well,
and again, there's this team. I always use this term with Montreal. It's short shots. They'll do a couple of screen plays, and then it's going to look like a screenplay, but it's a shot downfield. It's going to be a deep play action. These guys are doing it at such a high level, and they're also protecting Davis Alexander because they do a lot of underneath throws.
Well, they're Alexander's 2 favorite targets this season, to be sure, and use them both nicely on that play. Double pass and a touchdown for the Alouettes, who up their lead to 10. For Calgary behind, and then a short kick. Looks like Sean Peterson is the one to pick that one up on the return, and the second layer of the kick return.
We got the tracker this week. We wanted to put a tracker in, see where the catches are. Stampeders got to get on their roll. Get Jalen caught up.
The Twins from North Delta, BC, started playing football at age 6. Went to the University of Calgary, played for the Dinos. There's a throw by Adams, incomplete. Tevin Jones, the closest in the area. How about that Alouette defense, Lapo?
Mustafa Johnson is already had one nice tackle in the backfield, 5th-year player. Can he keep minimizing this run game? Looking forward to that. Tyrese Beverett, had a talk with him this week, talked about how he was so successful in this system. He just loves Noel Thorpe's defense to be able to play in a bunch of different spots. A couple of changes on the Lorenzo Burns comes back to his boundary corner position. Don Callis, he played the boundary. He flips back to the field, filling in for Kabianento.
Talk about Najee Murray, game time decision. Didn't think he'd be able to play, and he's been a factor in this one. Flushed out of the pocket again as Adams wants to take off again, tucks it in, gets the first down easily across midfield with Murray there to greet him.
So there's a number of things that when you're facing this Montreal defense, they're going to play it, sometimes show blitzes and then drop out. This one time they're playing man-to-man. And the problem is in man-to-man, if you don't have contain on the quarterback, everybody's running with their receivers. Vernon recognized he can't find anybody open, so then he just takes off and gets the first down by using his legs.
Murray from Steubenville, Ohio, to Kent State. And the Alouette defense pushed back now to their 52, where the Stamps will scrimmage with VA and getting Dedrick Mills involved now. The top rusher in the CFL a year ago, and Mills has it down close to a first down. It'll be a second and short coming up.
Yeah, Dedrick Mills getting an inside run game. He's done a pretty good job the last couple weeks. The thing I like about Dedrick Mills is 2 weeks ago he had 4 catches for 40 yards. He had his first receiving touchdown in his career. Vernon's doing a pretty good job of checking the ball down to him, not just making sure he's up on the inside like this run we just saw.
Quincy Vaughn in, flag is out, and the Stamps do get the first down in short yardage. But will it stand? Awaiting a ruling on this one.
Offside, Montreal, number 95. It's a 5-yard penalty, first down.
So yeah, they get the 5 on that one. Only needed the 1 for the first down, but they'll take those 5 yards and push further down inside the Montreal 40.
Daniel Wise getting that penalty, not lining up a yard off the ball.
In his first year at Kansas, has a sack on the season so far. But that penalty gets him to the 38. Montreal. Calgary Stampeders down by 10 early here. First quarter at Molson Stadium. Off to the right. Jalen Philpott tried to turn it up and take off, and just off the fingertips. Incomplete.
Just a little bit outside. Just a speed out cut. Vernon sees it. That ball back. Good directional throw to the boundary where the softness of the defense was.
Second and 10. Alouette 38. Adams this time to the left, and that's Clark Barnes with it. Product did well, working his way down to the 25, and another first down for the Stampeders.
Clark Barnes going to work out into the flat as defenders lift in the underneath coverage. You can just take the underneath throw. Vernon's doing a pretty good job recognizing. Here's the high players, the corner carries. Once the corner carries with the 12-yard route, I got to throw the 5-yard route. And then that's what Clark Barnes has to do. To get the first down, you got to break tackles when you're on the wide side of the field and get the positive yardage. Good play by Clark Barnes, breaking tackles.
To the Montreal 25 now. Drive continues. Adams throwing again underneath. That's caught by Eric Brooks, getting his first catch of this game as Brooks takes it down right around the 20. About a 2nd and 5 coming up here for Calgary.
Yeah, just a quick inside slant versus, this is an easy picture for Vernon right away. He sees the underneath coverage. A little bit of a rub play. There's enough space to be able to get it on the underneath, put the ball in the receiver's hands quickly.
That was Tyrese Beverette on the tackle for Montreal. The Stampeders are looking to respond. Alouettes got points off the turnover last time around to move up by 10. Here's Adams with time again. Takes a deeper look for Brissett. Touchdown, Calgary. How's that for a response? Brissett just in behind Nate Beauchemin and picks up the first points of the day for the red and white.
Beautiful throw right over the top of Beauchemin. Great location on the corner route. Corner of the end zone, you call it a corner route. You have 2 people go underneath. Take the shot when you have the leverage of the player inside. Beauchemin's too far inside position. You just throw it to the back pylon. Great location. High angle for the throw. Great run by Brissett to go to the back part of the pylon for the touchdown.
The veteran in his 6th season in the CFL. First year in Calgary after starting off many years, winning championships with the Toronto Argonauts, and that caps off an 8-play, 66-yard drive in just under 4 minutes time. It was a great start by the Alouettes, but the Stampeders have responded. Adams, first touchdown pass of the day to Dejan Brissett.
Quarterbacking, receiving, you always got to be on the same page. But you know what's got to be on the same page? The offensive line. You got 6 guys standing at the line of scrimmage. You got a bunch of guys. Who's the extra player going to come? As we roll this now, usually Montreal is going to show all these guys coming and then drop 1 or 2 out. The O-line's got to get their position and know who they're blocking. They do that correctly. Once they do that, they're going to get receivers downfield open for the touchdown. That's the problem playing this defense. Montreal puts all these different guys in the line of scrimmage. Calgary Stampeders picking up the pressures.
Mario Alford on the kick return across the 25. For Brissett, by the way, that was his 3rd touchdown catch in 2 games. He had 2 of VA's 6 last week, as did Jalen Philpott. So Davis Alexander.
Well, when you throw 7, almost everybody.
Just about everyone,
crazy, right?
Gets to get in on the act, and Alexander back on, and well, the touchdown pass was thrown by Tyler Snead. He gets an assist on that last Alouette touchdown pass. Scored by Tyson Philpott. So the return goes up to the Alouette 27. The Stamps have cut into the lead, back 2-3. Alexander's seen 5 for 6. Still first quarter, getting late, under 2 minutes. Little play fake, deep shot, looking deep, wide open, flags out, Philpott alone to the zone for touchdown number 2. If it stands, as mentioned, there is a flag way back near the line of scrimmage.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Montreal, number 62. It's a 10-yard penalty, and we'll repeat first down.
Negated, as announced by the referee Justin McInnes. So no, Nick Callender wants to plead his case, but Tyson Philpott was wide open.
Nick Callender draws this penalty. You'll see him here, and you'll see it especially at the end of the play as we roll this. As he goes to engage, his right hand is going through into the face mask of the center, and it's bringing and dropping his neck back. That's a bad position to put a defender in. They frown on you doing anything blows to the head and pushing his head back.
And Lapo, given where that was on the field away from the play, would not have been a factor. And
he's still going to.
Oh no, it's still a penalty, but I'm saying kind of a reprieve for the Stampeders, who had a coverage problem there on Tyson Philpott. So 1st and 20 on the penalty. The 17, and just dumping it off, and Kyle Wilson is right there on Travis Tice to make sure he doesn't catch that one.
And the beauty on the previous play for the touchdown, it's so hard because all DBs tend to play the underneath routes. And when the quarterback breaks contain, he has plenty of time. And then he says, all right, if you're going to stay on the underneath, I'm going to throw it deep to Tyson Philpott. And that's what you saw on that touchdown. Unfortunate that Callender drew the penalty.
Point being, could have been a disaster for the Stampeders.
Yes.
Under a minute to go until quarter time now. And it's a 2nd and 20, and the Alouettes deep in their zone. They have a 3-point lead. 2nd and long. Underneath, it is caught by Marco Dubois. And once again, there is a flag on the play.
You know, talking to defensive coordinator Bob Slowick before this game, he said you just got to do a lot of different coverages against these guys.
Holding, Montreal, number 66. Penalty is declined, 3rd down.
You got to show different pictures to Davis Alexander. He's so intelligent. There's Pierre Lestage. Olivier Lestage gets his Bob Slowick D coordinator. He just said, we got to make sure we show him different looks. That last play had zone on certain players, and then they man-to-man on one other. Like, he's trying to go what you would call Rolodex through different coverages, different looks, trying to confuse Montreal and their good young quarterback, Davis Alexander.
First punt of the day for Joseph Zima. Inside his 10, and back for Tyreek McAllister and Eric Brooks. McAllister will get it. It's 44. Goes to the right. Looking for that edge after the 47-yard punt. And Jacob Mason chasing him out. And so is Dubois. Shove out of bounds with 20 seconds to go until quarter time. And we get a little extracurriculars here. Kalon Thomas and Tyrell Richards. Nice
tackle on the sideline by Marco Dubois, who spent most of his career in Ottawa and is an outstanding special teams player and can run. I mean, he's 6'4", 230 pounds, can run for a big guy. Made a great career in this league by being a special teams leader.
You coached
the ball's in flight. Holding. Calgary, number 98. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Another penalty against the Stamps to push him back to start this drive late in quarter number 1. Vernon Adams Jr. CFL career started 10 years ago here in Montreal.
Yeah, talking to him this week, it was pretty amazing to talk about him. You know, he talked about when I first came in the league, I didn't know anything. I was I just used my athletic ability. I ran around. And that's for young quarterbacks. Sometimes people want young quarterbacks to perform right away, and I know we're getting some great things from Davis, but I also give Calvillo a lot of credit and Jason for how they call games with some of the younger guys. But you got to give them time to see the pictures. You got to give them time to understand what coverage looks like, so they can start seeing the pictures and locate the football based on the coverages.
Calgary football from their 33. The start nearly picked off, intended for Barnes and Lorenzo Burns. Burns stepping in front of Barnes, and that could have worked out a little differently. Could have been another touchdown for the Alouettes. That close, and he knows it.
Very close.
Jumps the route. 1 quarter through in this meeting between the Stampeders and the Alouettes, and Tyson Philpott with a touchdown in this one and nearly had another 3-point lead heading to the second quarter. It's the Alouettes with the lead after 10-7, and you look at the numbers and this feeling out process in this game so far, but I think it's kind of underestimated, Lapo. The arm of Tyler Snead.
Absolutely.
He's 5'7", little quarterback there, and nice jump pass for the touchdown.
I love a lot of like Tice, Snead, Philpott can do a lot of different things, and that's so fun to watch. And as a coordinator, the creativity can be there for Anthony Calvillo, Jason Moss, say, hey, let's try this, let's do this. And the other thing they do such a good job of, Montreal gets a lot of first downs. When they get first downs, you've got opportunities to call the trick plays, to call the special plays. So having the ability for your quarterback to stay on the field, keep creating first downs, all the different crazy plays start coming out of your playbook. Hats off to the Owls early in the first quarter. And you always want to call them early because you get them out of the way.
Absolutely. Well, second quarter begins. Calgary football in their zone. And VA is throwing. It is caught to a first down. Second catch of this game for Eric Brooks. And 15 yards more for the Stampeders.
Brooks is going to go out on the sideline. He's going to run an out route to the sideline, and the defender comes inside. I know I can take the outside throw. This is what you call a corner read. If the corner runs down, I'm going to throw the out to the sideline. Good read by Vernon, recognizing the coverage on the high-low corner read.
Eric Brooks, third year at Fresno State. Couple of catches on this night. And the 47, Diedrich Mills. Haven't seen Mills a lot so far compared to other games, but he does have another carry there to push it over the 50, second down.
Trying to negotiate the run game with Montreal standing a lot of defensive linemen around the line of scrimmage. So they walk their linebackers up into the line of scrimmage. They try to, instead of playing them at depth, they want those linebackers right at the line of scrimmage, making it difficult for the offensive line to figure out who they're blocking. That's why they have a bunch of athletic players can play at all different spots.
He got 5 there. He has 3 carries for 12 yards, Diedrich Mills. Second and 5. Calgary 52. Looking left, and it's caught. And it's a first down again for the Stampeders, and another one for Brooks inside the Alouettes 50.
Talk about Vernon Adams' development. How quickly he recognizes this and throws it. There's a pressure from the Owls. He knows the softness of the defense is to his left. Gets the laces, throws it out there for an easy first down. Really good by Diedrich Mills getting the 5-yard gain, so the hitch keeps you on schedule. Montreal, you just got to keep getting, you got to get yardage on first down, or else it's a nightmare on second and long. facing this Northport defense. They can do too many things defensively.
10-yard gain inside the 50, down to the Montreal 48. Adams throwing again and off the fingertips of Clark Barnes. Not that time with Don Callis bearing down.
Little one-on-one on the, he's got a dig route breaking inside versus man coverage. You can see Callis is in a good position inside, but just too much depth. Just got to bring your eyes up with the football. Can't let the ball break the plane of your eyes. A little high by Vernon. Good read versus man coverage. It's got to finish.
Talked about all the Stamp receivers getting touchdowns last week from VA. Barnes was one of them. Had a couple of catches for 63 yards, including one for Pater. The pressure coming, and that one is complete too. And a flag does come out. That's a catch for Jalen Philpott down near the 40. It'd be about a yard or two shy of a first down. See what the flag's about.
Roughing the passer, Montreal, number 9. 15 yards from the end of the play and an automatic first down.
Fans don't like it. That is the middle linebacker, Jeffrey Cantin-Arcou.
Cantin-Arcou, you're going to see they're using him covering the center in his pass rush. He beats the tailback. And again, this bring down at the end, I think, is what's going to draw that penalty, as he kind of threw him down at the end. I don't think they want that little throw at the end. Is what drew that penalty. I think the timing was okay, just that throw at the end. Great job by Cantin-Arcou making the Dedrick Mills miss.
And that was his 7th straight second down conversion for Calgary. That one by penalty after the catch by Philpott was just a yard or two short. Back to Mills and grinding out a couple of yards at most on his 4th carry of this game.
Daniel Wise does a good job in there, stopping that run, creating a 2nd and long.
Down to the Montreal 22. The Alouettes had a 10-0 lead. Calgary came back in that first quarter. A touchdown pass from Vernon Adams to Dejon Brissett. Adams is 6 for 11 for 70 yards in that TD. 4-man rush. He has time in the middle, and no, Barnes in the territory. Callis, the closest to it, diving for it. Falls incomplete down near the Alouette goal line. And a 3rd down and 8 coming up with the field goal unit coming on.
A lot of personnel jumping in and out here. You can see a zone coverage, just a 4-man rush as Vernon's trying to find that dig as it comes inside, just locates it too far inside. Open in the zone, just misses the throw.
And so Jude Micatamney from Derry, Northern Ireland, used to play Gaelic football and got into the North American variety. Played at Rutgers, the New York Giants, and here with the Stampeders, while Rene Paredes gets better, and a good kick by Micatamney to tie this ball game. Down 10, coming back with 10. The Calgary Stampeders get close enough for that. Micatamney now 6 for 7 in the year in the field goal department. Well, this game means a lot to those guys, the Philpott brothers. The 3rd time in their CFL careers. Means a lot to their family, too. They're here, too. Let's go down and say hello to Kenzie Lalonde.
Yes, Rod, this is the one day of the year Mom Colleen struggles with the most. The Philpotts have about 14 friends and family here today to watch the game. The one person in particular, the twins are excited to be here, Grandpa Vince, Colleen's mom. It's been a while, or father, I should say. It's been a while since Vince had a chance to watch either grandson play in person. He had a first seat to watching their competitive nature, whether it be with grades or competing in sports, even doing the dishes. The family learned it was best to just separate them. Of course, now the relationship's built on mutual respect. Tyson saying this week he really admires Jalen's ability to work through those injuries early on, and Jalen really credits Tyson's ability to make a name for himself here in Montreal, a city quite far away from home.
Yeah, Kenzie, terrific story, and together always until pro football. They were together, as mentioned, with the Calgary Dinos winning a national championship in 2019, each having 4 catches in that Vanier Cup game. Montreal ball, and there is Tyson. He's had a good night so far. Once again, a flag is out. Adrian Green sending him out of bounds, and there's Mom getting up. What's up with that? With her combination Alouette Stampeder uniform. Colleen Purcell not liking the sight.
Roughing the passer, Calgary, number 8. 15 yards from the end of the play, first down.
However, it's against the Stampeders.
Philpott on a nice inside little pick play to the wide side of the field, little play action, get it out to Philpott, get the ball in space. And you got a late hit coming in here at the end. Just stay away, just hold him up. Look at Colleen, fired up.
You bet. Inside the 35 now. 21-yard gain. You had the 15-yard penalty as well. So down to the Calgary 34. Here comes the Alouettes. Little fake there to Travis Tice to buy Alexander some time for a deep shot. Down the left and wide open. Alexander Hollins and an Alouette touchdown. And Hollins still down, slow to get up. His first catch of this game, it's a big one too, and he was wide open. And still down.
He crosses the wide side of the field. You're going to see a big play action, and he's coming all the way across the wide side of the field. And that's so difficult for a defense to handle. Nobody on the backside of the defense on the flood where he came across the field. Beautiful play, beautiful execution. Hollins last week had 1 catch, 51 yards for a touchdown. So this is a guy who's turning into the number 2 guy in explosive plays besides Tyson Philpott. Great throw on the inside, great play for the big play for Alexander Hollins. But more than anything, Jason Moss talked about it, the protection we've had because we do a lot of these run play actions. The line's holding up, giving Davis plenty of time to get these deeper developing pass plays.
I'd like to welcome those watching in TSN 5, watching Norway and England in the World Cup. Rod Smith, Paul Lapalese, Kenzie Lalonde here in Montreal. And the Alouettes have just taken the lead again on a touchdown pass, 34 yards from Davis Alexander to Alexander Hollins. Got hit in the back by Benny Sapp as he just got it across the goal line and was very slow to get up, needed some help. Injured on the play. It's Jose Maltos Diaz with another point after try to make it a 17-10 lead. A 7-point lead restored there for the Alouettes. Davis Alexander, true to form, getting it deep down the field, and this time to Hollins, who just gets across the line.
Alexander Hollins with the huge touchdown coming across the field. As we take a look at what they're trying to do here, as they motion over into the short side of the field. We're going to pause it right here for a second. As we pause it here, they're going to stretch this side of the field, and they have somebody going deep. Okay, once one goes deep, then Hollins replaces. There's nobody there because both the corner and the halfback go with the post. That leaves this flood route wide open underneath. They carried the deep one. That's great execution, great patience by Hollins getting across the field for the touchdown.
He had 1 catch last week for 53 yards and a touchdown, to your point. 1 catch so far tonight for 35 and a touchdown. Tyreek McAllister on the return and up the left side for a 25-yard return. Calgary football again. The Stampeders find themselves in a hole, trailing by 7 here in the second quarter.
McAllister's been a good addition, obviously, to this team. 2 returns, missed field goal return earlier in the season. Big punt return touchdowns. Been a help with their field position all season.
Dave Dickinson, his brother Craig, coaching special teams at Mario Alford in Saskatchewan when he was head coach there. And Alford, of course, back in Montreal. And now with Tyreek McAllister, the explosive returner Calgary's needed. Handing off Diedrich Mills and cuts it back. And Micah Awe among those.
And you know, talking to Rod, we were talking to Dave this week. Calgary hasn't won here since 2018. It's been a long time for this organization.
They've only won 2 of the last 10 years.
Yeah. So they've really struggled through coming out here, coming all the way out to the East Coast. So he's like, we never worry, we don't concern anybody's record. We just know we've struggled coming out all the way across the country to Montreal. So
trivia question I got to ask you about the quarterback matchup back in 18 when Calgary last won here. Think about that for a moment. The Calgary 41, 2nd and 4, dumping it off to Brooks. And he works his way up for a first down. He gets it up to about the 48 for the Stampeders as this drive will continue, approaching the halfway point of the second quarter.
Take your returner types, the guys who are really good with the ball in their hand. Get them a BTL behind the line of scrimmage, block with the receivers on the other side. Your receivers really got to do a good job blocking, or have a guy who's great at making people miss in space like this to get you the 4-yard gain for the first down.
Gain of 8 yards up to the 49 for the Stamps, down 7. Adams chased and brought down, and the ball comes out, and Mills picks it up and gets something out of it too as he gets it up across the 50. It was Tyrese Beverett right in on Vernon Adams and forced the ball out. Alert play by Mills to pick it up and get some yardage out of it.
I love Tyrese Beverett. He's going to come on the outside of your screen. You're going to see him come in.
Ruling on the field is a fumble.
Okay, he throws him out of the way. Vernon feels that pressure, and then he strips the ball. Tyrese Beverett is a dude out there playing. Will linebacker, free safety, move him to the wide side of the field. Just a great football player. Huge play. Dedrick Mills picks up his teammates for saying, hey, I'm sorry I missed the block. Now I'm going to go get some positive yardage.
Second time Adams has fumbled in this game. They lost the last one, but not this time. Mills picks it up. They actually pick up 3, 2nd and 7. Adams to the left, nearly intercepted by Don Callis. Oh my goodness, he had daylight ahead. And a break for Adams and the Stampeders.
Don Callis is going to be right up here. He's going to start squeezing in on this in-breaking route. I think this is just not located well. Barnes is sitting in between Callis and the next inside player. I think Vernon just put it outside a little too much. Don Callis doesn't see it into his hands. Doesn't make Noel Thorpe real happy right there.
Well, that was 6. I mean, he was gone if he hung on to that one. And instead, the Stampeders do get to punt it away. Taken there by Alford. Just across his 10, good coverage on teams after that 55-yard punt. George Adoko in there. Micah Tights as well on Alford and limiting that return. So Alexander and the Owls start deep in their zone. 6:36 till halftime on a summer Saturday night in Montreal.
Welcome back to Montreal. And this connection we see between Davis Alexander and his receivers doesn't just happen overnight. Davis has done a good job the last few years actually hosting his receivers at home in Scottsdale, Arizona, where the group rents a house, about a dozen of them. They'll mix in some Topgolf while training at his facility called Apex. It was actually an idea he adopted from Vernon Adams Jr., who first started hosting his receivers back home in Washington this past year. Adams took the group to California, worked in some ice baths in the Pacific Ocean. You could tell how Alexander really admires Adams and the similarity between the leadership styles.
And Kenzie, in that photo, you can see both Philpotts were there at Davis Alexander's camp. That's a great story. And we talked to him about the influence of Vernon Adams Jr. There's big Jalen Hutchings celebrating that as the Alouettes get pushed further back towards their zone. But Lapo, back in 2022 in the quarterback room, Vernon Adams wasn't there much longer, but Alexander's rookie year at him and Trevor Harris as well, and those veterans were both really impressed by the arm.
Yeah, and they talked about it. They talked about, hey, listen, I remember Davis told us this week, I remember Vernon telling me, hey, buddy, you better start focusing, make sure I'm going to get traded. And when I get traded, you're going to be on the roster. You're going to be the number 3 guy, and we think you got a lot of talent. The quarterbacks used to go, who's this young guy? And I don't know. I think he was just a camp arm, as the guys talked about it, and then he just kept making plays. And Vernon just said, hey, this guy's really good. And when he was about to be traded, he did the good leadership thing. It's like, hey, you got to start preparing like you're on the roster. I'm going to get traded away. You're going to be the number 3 guy. So Davis Alexander spoke so highly about the relationship that he had with Vernon and how he helped him. And he's kind of modeled some of the things after him, and he really appreciated that.
He hasn't forgot the influence of Vernon Adams. And think of that quarterback room in 22 with Adams and Trevor Harris, and Dominic Davis was 3 on that, and Davis Alexander was 4. And his turn didn't come right after that. Not in 23. It was Cody Fajardo, and then in 24 he got his chance when Fajardo was hurt. And you look at consecutive pass attempts without an interception, and Davis Alexander 284, and some pretty good company right there.
And I just love that he doesn't put the ball in bad spots. I love how they call a game. I've talked about it a couple of times tonight. They protect him with play calls. They don't empty out the backfield and have 6 receivers out every play. They like to throw the football with a lot of guys around the line of scrimmage, give him good protection so he can see the pictures, limit how many coverages he faces. But he's just an impressive player. The biggest thing, players play for this guy because he puts his body on the line every time he's out here.
And deep in his zone right now, and a 2nd and 18 after that loss. Hutchings getting in. So a good chance for the Stampeders now. Flipping this field. Alexander from his end zone. It is caught, and it's up well shy of a first down, up around the 15. That's the ex-Ottawa Red Black, Marco Dubois, in his first year with the Alouettes, but they'll have to punt.
So really good. Back them up to start. Get a sack on first down. Force a punt from backed up. Finish with really good field position for Calgary. So good 3-phase football for the Calgary Stampeders defense and special teams.
So Tyreek McAllister back around the Calgary 40. Joseph Zima at about his 2-3 yard line to punt for the 2nd time in this game. From Melbourne, Australia. Right down, coming in at the 50. Midfield, McAllister. And just driven back shortly after that. Donovan Manuel in there, along with one of their great special teams tacklers, Alex Gagne, to make sure he doesn't get much. Well, the global phenomenon is back for a thrilling new season, and the war for the Iron Throne has ignited. HBO's House of the Dragon. Stream now, only on Crave. Lapo is fired up about that.
Fired up about the Dragons.
Sir, fired up about this matchup tonight, too. 1st to 2, they meet next week again in McMahon. Last time the Stampeders won here in Montreal was going back to 2018. They've only won here twice in the last 10 years. They're down right now by 7. It's Dedrick Mills. And he's working his way there for a pickup of about 5 yards. A little bit less. 3, excuse me. Not as much. Around the 50.
What you love about Dedrick Mills. Get your shoulders square. This year got that pistol formation. Just finds the crease to get where he needs to be. Up north, south. Get what yardage you can. Sometimes no holes. He still creates opportunity to get extra yards.
Halftime getting closer. Flags out all over the place.
Procedure, Calgary, number 67. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it remains 2nd down.
Here's what's makes you mad as an offensive coordinator, Rod. Like you're sitting here going, hey, we're 2nd and 7. Montreal does all different types of pictures, so we're going to make sure we're going to do a hard count so you can see what the coverage is. We can see what the front is, so you can see the protection. But you got to hold your water. You can't back up on this hard count. 2nd time this has happened to the Calgary Stampeders O-line.
Winding down to 4 minutes. Pressure coming now on Adams. Gets rid of it. That's nearly picked by Isaac Adeyemi Berglund. Defensive end, and dropping back. And got his hands on the football, but no pick. But it's a 3rd and 12 coming up.
Adeyemi Berglund's all the way over here, and he's going to drop out. That's why it's so hard for Vernon to see this as he drops out. This is what's called the zone blitz. He's going to show to his zone. They're going to expect to throw the ball in that hot space, what you call hot. The quarterbacks get the ball in his hands, but the quarterback couldn't see Adeyemi Berglund.
The Alouettes have had 3 legitimate chances at interceptions and haven't come up with them. So it breaks for Calgary here, and Alford inside his 10. Across the 15 after a 47-yard punt by Mark Vassett. 3:22 in the clock. 3-minute warning coming up, and very soon we'll be heading back to Kate Burness in the studio. Some thoughts at halftime. Davis Alexander, 9 of 11, 141, and that touchdown pass to Alexander Hollins, and gets the assist and the other touchdown pass by Tyler Snead and the double pass. They found Tyson Philpott in the end zone.
It's the team that lives off the big play. We're tied for first in the CFL.
Do they ever.
16 plays, 16 big plays. Just fun to watch with this crew.
Snead Ferdinand in motion off to the left, and the handoff to Tice. Running play that's been a little uncommon in this game so far as Tice gets his number called. He gets it up to the 20 in a 4-yard gain.
And in the Montreal Alouettes recipe the last couple of years have been, hey, play great defense, surviving offensively. Now they got one of the best offenses in the CFL.
The 3-minute warning is given. The Alouettes have the football. They have a 7-point lead.
Did you hear Rod?
I
Rod.
did.
Did he really say that?
Sure did.
There are other members here besides Kate, Rod. There are other panel members here, Kate.
Let's get out of here, man.
You're the best, Smitty.
A long day at work.
Halftime.
I'll pick up my
Coming
check
up with
before I
me.
leave.
I'm in their bad books again.
I think you created.
If I said Kate in the panel, did I not say Kate in the
don't know
panel?
if
I
you
just
said
said we'll
the
be get
panel.
back to Kate.
Oh.
Something you can't just make assumptions about the panel. And you know what? They're a little ornery because they had such a good time in Kelowna, and now they're back in the studio. You tell me. You're with them a couple of times this week already.
Back in from the beauty of being on the beach out in Kelowna and out by the water in the marina. One time you took over the panel at 3 minutes, I saw.
Yeah, I would just happen to be wandering by,
And they were nowhere to be
yeah, they
seen?
were busy. They were, you know. So Farhan and I just decided to jump in. So, all right. My apologies. Andy Bayukas, our director, says, say Kate and the others. That'll go over well.
Trying to sort out who's offsides on this. Now the Montreal trying to do a hard count. So now the command center can help. The command center assists with a lot of different aspects of the game that you don't need. The replay center, I should say. They're always going to be in a position where they can help out to see, all right, who initiated this movement. So is
Procedure, Montreal, number 52. It's a 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Right, so Tiger Shanks, the right tackle, pulls this penalty, saying basically he's going to step back when he feels the defense gets into the neutral zone. Obviously, the replay center did not feel that there's any defenders in that zone when he stepped back.
By the way, I don't want Milt mad at me again, and I certainly don't want Enoch mad at me.
Definitely not Enoch, yes.
2nd and 11 now. The Montreal 15, 7-point game, 3 minutes on the clock until halftime. Alexander under the heat, just wants to dump it off, and he does. To Tyler Snead, has a catch. Of course, he had one earlier, and he ended up throwing a touchdown off it, but Snead takes a pop and gets that first down.
You see the Calgary Stampeders mixing in. They do a zone pressure here. And again, this is what's so hard about Davis Alexander. They get home, they get pressure, he starts to scramble. He makes plays. He finds Snead coming across, just lofts it over for the big play. His escapability and the ability to make these off-schedule plays is what keeps them on the football field.
Alexander waiting just long enough until he knew he had him. And yeah, what a valuable asset in that Alouette offense in different ways that we've seen in that pickup of 23 yards for Tyler Snead. And that's on his third catch. He is 40 yards on the night. There's Travis Tice, busted outside. What a nice move at the line of scrimmage as he kicked it out, and a good pickup to the 50 of Montreal.
Patience by Tice. What I love about him is having an understanding that he ends up winding it all the way back here. He winds it all the way back. Why? Because there's nobody. As the end comes down and crashes and takes the C gap, the gap outside the tackle, there's nobody left. So Tice recognizes it, bounce it outside. Calgary is not aligned with another defender outside that gap. Great recognition by Tice for the first down on first down.
Up to the Montreal 50 now, 2:17, still plenty of time until halftime. Faking to Tice, off to the left and wide open. Kasim Ferdinand, his second catch of the night, 6th of the season and his career for that matter. He had 4 catches in his debut against the Elks in Edmonton back in week 3.
Why this team wins is because they win on first down. Here's another first down on first down. Zone read. Before the defender can get there, they throw the ball into the flat. They have a defender blocking the edge to give Davis a little bit extra time to get it out to Kasim. Kasim did really good speeds and really nice things. And one of the smaller receivers, but he's got great speed, had a great career at Carleton University.
Down to the Calgary 42 now. Here come the Alouettes again, looking for more than the 7-point lead inside. And it is Sneed again. Down to the 25 and another first down.
Middle screen, you're going to bring linemen up, you're going to bring somebody out to block, and then he's going to come inside while all the pass rush goes vertical. You see Tice clears out the linebackers. You see you just follow all the big men. This is what makes Montreal difficult. So many different screen passes, so many first downs allow you to Rolodex through how many different play calls you want to make. Anthony Calvillo's trying to keep Calgary off balance with a lot of different pictures and looks.
Gain of 17, they mark it at the 26. 1:46 in the clock until halftime. Davis Alexander quickly to the right, caught by Tyson Philpott, who's had a tremendous first half, including a touchdown, nearly had another, it was called back. He gets it down to the 20. And a second down and about 4 coming up after that 6 for 6.
I'll make this point. As a play caller, you don't want, sometimes you get bored as a play caller. Well, too many screens, too many runs. Let me take a shot. Let me go downfield with these plays. This is back-to-back screen plays by Jason Moss, Anthony Calvillo. Just getting the ball out of their hands. Easy throws for the quarterback.
And he's back throwing again. Being chased by Clarence Hicks. He gets away. Buys some time. Downfield and caught with a flag coming out. Just as Philpott was catching another one right inside the 10.
See what this penalty is on the catch by Philpott here. Once again, the ability to use your legs is what makes the difference here. Calgary's playing man coverage. They got everybody covered until Davis Alexander takes off, starts scrambling. Protection, the coverage breaks down. Tyson Philpott's open. We'll see what this flag is going to be.
Legal contact, Calgary, number 33. Penalty is declined. First down.
That's on Zy Alexander, the illegal contact.
So anytime past 5 yards, you can't make contact. So they're in a good position. Everybody's chasing everybody man-to-man, but sooner or later the protection will break down, or the coverage will break down as Tyson Philpott goes across and then goes right into scramble drill, runs across. That's so hard when you're in man-to-man coverage for the DBs to contain.
Pressing for another touchdown are the Alouettes. Travis Tice to the right, cuts back into the end zone for another Alouette touchdown. His third touchdown of the season. Travis Tice and the Alouettes a point after away from leading by 2 touchdowns.
Once again, watch him wind this playback. He starts to bounce into the backside. He sees a crease, puts his foot in the ground, gets north-south. That is the vision. That is the balance you need for this 9-play, 94-yard drive. 2 minutes off the clock. Great drive by the Owls. And not a lot of deep shots, Rod. Just moving the ball down the floor with short passes. Run the football.
Yeah, Lapo, I mean, just about moving the entire length of the field. Maltos Diaz does make it a 14-point game with just 1:13 until halftime as the Alouettes, who had other big play possibilities, denied by penalty, by some drops on defense, or they could have had a much bigger lead taking to the dressing room. But as it stands, they'll certainly take it. They're in charge right now over the Calgary Stampeders. And we'll hear a lot more about this when we go to the studio for Kate and for Milt and for Enoch as well.
And when you watch Travis Tice, there's so many different things he does. Sometimes he plays fullback, sometimes he plays a tight end. But the thing he is so good at is a runner. He's got a low center of gravity. He's got great vision, great balance. Second-year player from South Dakota. Like punt returns. Last year had a punt return for a touchdown. This guy can do a lot of different things in your system. That's why you see them. the Montreal Alouettes love keeping him in tight end sets. Last week when they had Stevie Scott, he was still on the roster. He was still somebody like, hey, let's put both of these guys in the backfield. Difficult guys to go against for defensively when you have two talented tailbacks in the game.
You look at the evolution of the Alouettes in the backfield over the last decade. Remember Terrell Sutton and how powerful a runner he was in the Williams Standback years, giving way to Walter Fletcher. And then some change in the last couple of years. Stevie Scott getting a chance, and Tice, who made such a good impression early last season to stick with the club, and he was returning kicks too back then, not just a running back. Tice gets the touchdown. They're up 14. Here's Tyreek McAllister at the 30. Works his way up closer to the 40. 28-yard return. Another look at that touchdown drive for the Alouettes.
Couple of inside runs. You see Tice using his balance, bouncing outside. Then the off-schedule plays. That was dead to rights as a sack. Davis Alexander makes a miss. Kasim on the outside, middle screen. This is a 2-yard gain that turns into a 15-yard play. Using the legs once again, creating illegal contact downfield. Tice once again for the run. Like we said, a 9-play, 94-yard drive from backed up. Huge, took a ton of time off the clock right before the half.
Vernon Adams now. Some work to do. It is batted away by Isaac Adeyemi. Berglund denied at the line of scrimmage, and we got a second down coming up. 1:01 till halftime.
Great vision by Isaac Adeyemi Berglund, recognizing Vernon's getting to a screen pass of himself. He's taking the ball, going to throw it on the outside. He's at the top of the line right here. Sees the ball up quickly. I'm not going to get home in my pass rush. Just throw your hand up, knock the football down. Intelligent football play when you're not going to get home on some of those quick passes.
Making it a tougher first half for VA after his game for the ages last week in Calgary with 6 touchdown passes, another one running in. He's 7 for 16 now, and his old stomping grounds for just 78 yards and a touchdown. Big difference in passing in this line. And up for it is Brissett, who caught the touchdown pass earlier. Good coverage by Wesley Sutton, falls incomplete, and a third down coming up at the Calgary 40.
Wesley Sutton recognizes this is going to be a bend inside. A lot of teams will run this little post on the inside. You watch Wesley Sutton. He starts driving it and undercuts it, makes a play on the football, recognizing that post going inside from its high halfback spot. Those high halfbacks got to be able to recognize and drive downhill on these posts and digs.
There's Alford after a 51-yard punt by Bassett, and Alford gets it across the 30. Did I mention halftime? We'll not only have Kate, but Hall of Famer Milt Stegall and the MVP of the 2022 Grey Cup, Enoch Mwamba. Did I mention that, Lapo?
Oh, you haven't mentioned that, but yeah, that's
you were with them all weekend long.
All weekend.
How are they back in the studio, though? I should have asked.
We had a good weekend. We covered some games. We had
a great time.
Friday night we have trivia night. So Milt gives some stats, something he did in high school, and then we give out money to whoever gets the closest to his stats from all the crew. So it was a nice Friday night trivia.
So sorry, who was the winner? Deep look again, and that one's for Sneed, who's had a good, productive first half.
Our pot was $200. $210.
There you go.
So with 41 seconds left here, right? There's still plenty of time. You only need you don't need far. 2 first downs. You're kicking a long field goal. So plenty of time here for Montreal to try to get more points right before the half.
Tyler Sneed, 4 catches for 56 yards, but he does have that 7-yard touchdown pass, taking it from Davis Alexander, and then the double pass and a nice jump pass into the end zone for Tyson Philpott to open up the scoring in this game. 41 seconds on the clock. Alexander dancing around in the pocket. He gets some time, and he's chucking it deep down the field again. Nearly intercepted by Benny Sapp, who was right there with Kasim Ferdinand. But these Alouettes no quit when it comes to trying to put more points on the board before halftime. Took a shot there.
Moten's right there to help cause this. Alexander. And Benny Sapp. almost gets the interception.
We've had some near misses when it comes to interceptions. Some close calls in this game. It's Joseph Zima to kick it away, and always be aware of the dangerous Tyreek McAllister. We know what he can do. He has it inside his 30. Good coverage downfield. Tyrell Richards, another one of the special teams tackles leader, and a flag comes out as well as he is taken down.
During the return, illegal block, Calgary, number 27. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
Godfrey Onyeka draws the penalty. I'd say, yeah, I love the return games in the Canadian Football League. I love the returners, everything about this. Just, and I'm not saying the refs are calling too many. There's just a lot of holding penalties on return in the return game in the CFL. Way too many penalties. Love us to try to find a way to fix that. But I mean, the ref's got to call it when it happens.
So 19 seconds to go until halftime. Montreal scored the first 10 points. Calgary came back and tied it at 10. But it's been all Alouettes since then. Four-man rush. As VA, deep shot over the middle and reaching up and bringing it down nicely is Dejan Brissett. A nice catch and a high throw. In 12 seconds, they could get themselves into field goal range.
Go up and get it by Dejan Brissett. Just a post right in the middle of the field. Great catch. They're going no huddle here. Got 12 seconds, get what they need. And we're getting a challenge from, looks like Jason Moss.
Does Moss not think he caught that ball? They were lined up trying to get the play off with 12 seconds to go.
Montreal is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch. Play will be reviewed.
Well, let's have a look. See what the replay center is going to be looking at here, Lapo.
Just throw it high over the top of the linebackers. Trust your player is going to come down with a catch. He's got control here, but does he survive contact? I believe that's a catch.
Nate Boschman right on him and bobbled a little bit, and you see it ultimately will touch the turf, but it looked like he had control of it, did it not?
Yep. There's two. We've seen two angles. I haven't seen anything non-clear and obvious that it is not a catch.
And that's what it would have to be, because it was ruled as a catch. Need to see something that would definitively overturn it. You see underneath even as the ball is heading down. Looks like a nice catch.
So Calgary would be ready to go right up at the line of scrimmage, ready to call their next play. They got plenty of time here.
Well, by the way, their kicker, Jude McAtamney of Ireland, who kicked for the New York Giants, and he is in with the injury just at the start of the season of Rene Paredes. And McAtamney's got a leg. He had one in Kelowna a couple of weeks ago of 57 yards. And right now, just across midfield. So one short pass, they could get within his range and at least have a few more points to show for it.
After review by the replay center, the ruling on the field stands. Montreal will be charged a timeout.
So Justin McInnes confirming it is. Good catch by Dejan Brissett that gives the Stamps a chance for a field goal before halftime and cut into this 14-point lead. Quickly to Brissett again, but no, it's low and it's incomplete. And we're down to 6 seconds.
You wish they let a couple of seconds off the clock. They let like 4 seconds go off the clock. They could have gotten 2 more plays possibly if they didn't. They got to really execute this play quickly, get down, because they lost some. Should have snapped the ball as soon as that play was snapped in.
Well, he's had a 57 this season, and that would be 4 yards away for another 57-yard try. And time enough just for a quick pass. Here we go. Down, caught. Brissett gets right down, and that is in the range of McAtamney.
Nice execution. Catch a 6-yard ball, get down, leave 2.5 seconds. Now they're going to put their long field goal team on, or their speed team. What that means is they're going to have extra defenders or bigger bodies that aren't offensive linemen in case this is missed. And then a long return, so you're going to have, I saw them signaling their speed teaming, because we saw one of those last night.
Last night we saw one with the Stampeders against Saskatchewan with Tyreek McAllister
right
too.
Before the half. Yeah,
two missed field goal returns for touchdowns. You're right. Always some drama. You got Mario Alford back there too. Some good years here in Montreal before he went off and had some great years with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. McAtamney wants to make that a moot point, however. And he does. He is good. And he's 6 for 7. Or 7 for 8, I should say, on the year now. Having a perfect night and gives Calgary something, 3 more points before halftime. But how about Tyson? We talked about the Philpott twins, and Tyson has certainly had a very good game so far. Saw it right out of the gate as well, Lapo.
First drive of the game, a couple of plays, big play on the sideline, going up and getting this spectacular catch here. And a quick, easy screen, double pass, Tyler Sneed. That's a great recovery by Tyson to make that catch. Another great catch by him. Some really good plays on the sideline. Another catch here, and let's throw down to the sideline. Kenzie Lalonde with Tyson.
So we're in the
Philpott.
third edition of the Philpott Bowl, and you have yourself a highlight reel catch. How does it feel to have one up so far in this game?
The touchdown highlight reel?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, it's awesome. You know, obviously, you know, getting the end zone is awesome, but it's a 4-quarter game, so we're just going to go back to the drawing board and make sure we come out strong for the third quarter.
Did you make a Tyler Sneed spiral on the play?
Yeah, that was awesome. In practice, he threw me a duck and I dropped it, so we had to make sure we get it right in the game. And, you know, a little jump pass, nothing better, so.
Best of luck the rest of the way.
Hey, merci beaucoup.
Kate, the panel, over to you.
Kate in the panel.
Go with that.
Kate
Kate
and the panel. Is it just Kate, or is it the
Wow.
panel as well? Have we decided yet? Hi, I'm Kate Burness, and according to Rod Smith, I don't really need these two beside me, so I'll do the halftime by myself. You know who I could use, though? Davis Sanchez.
Where is that guy? He's still in Kelowna.
I think he just stayed in Kelowna.
He's still out there.
Maybe doing a little golf, maybe some parasailing. I'm not really sure. We
Davis at the
miss you,
beach. He's probably at the
Chezzy.
beach. He's at
You
the
know what we don't miss, though? I'll tell you this, watching performances like this one tonight by Tyson Philpott.
Yeah.
Look, we spoke to him yesterday. And you got to know that his brother's on the opposite sideline and he wants this huge performance. But his start to this season has been absolutely incredible. And we keep saying, Milt, if he can stay healthy, this could be record-breaking. We're looking at Alan Pitts now, but he is off to just a torrid start tonight.
And he's in the zone. You hear basketball players talk about they're in the zone where the basket seems like an ocean, or a pitcher where he can't get hit. Well, Tyson is in the zone right now, and it's good that Davis Alexander is his quarterback. But I think regardless who the quarterback is for the Montreal Alouettes, Tyson feels he's going to go out there and make plays, and he's proven everyone that he can do that, regardless who's throwing him the ball. I mean, he's getting open. He's avoiding double teams. He's making every single catch. I don't think he's dropped the ball. He's in that zone now, and his mental toughness right now is at an all-time high. And when your mental toughness is there, you feel like every single time you go out and run a route, they're throwing it to you. Even when you're the second or third option, you feel like every single time you're going out there, they're going to throw it to you. And so far, that's been the case. 96 yards in the first half.
Wild.
As you mentioned, if this guy stays healthy, it's unimaginable the yards and touchdowns he's going to put up.
Man, he plays with so much enthusiasm. I mean, you just love to watch him play. But on the other side, you look at the Calgary Stampeders defense, and you knew this was going to be a big game. You know how good of an offense the Montreal Alouettes have, but there were too many plays in the first half that they just had mishaps and miscommunications and not in the right place, and this was probably one of the worst ones right here. Davis Alexander, just wide open, Hollins down the field, and you got to talk to each other. You got to be on the same page. On that one right there, it looked like it was Adrian Green, who is just in his first game back right here. But it's obviously there was a miscommunication. They have to be on the same page. They have one of the best defensive lines in the CFL. They have to be on the same page. That doesn't help you if you're not going to be close to any of the receivers.
And you know what, too? I mean, the defense has been great this season. On the flip side, too, the defense has been great because they've been getting a lot from their offense. They've been out on the field a lot right now because Vernon Adams, who's coming off that 7 TD performance, hasn't looked like himself in the first half here. He's 9 of 20. He's 116 yards total. And I don't know what it is. And credit to Montreal's defense as well, but he does not look the same as he looked at the Stampede Bowl.
And we were, on Vernon doing so well because of his numbers, but we were more so because of his decision making. And so far in this first half, we've seen some bad decisions. If not for some Montreal Alouettes having bad hands, this game could be even more out of hand for the Calgary Stampeders. We saw the fumble, I understand that one, but some of his decision-making hasn't been the best. Some of the throws haven't been the best. And right here, you just got to take a sack. He's still trying to throw the ball right there. And I'm sure Dave Dickinson is saying, that's not the Vernon Adams I want to see. I want to see the Vernon Adams that we've seen in those first 4 games where, yes, you made a bunch of big throws, but you made some great decisions.
Yeah, and here's the thing when you play against the Montreal Alouettes, both ways, offense and defense, they will challenge you from a discipline perspective. What do we talk about the hard counts for the offense?
Yeah.
They keep jumping off sides. You gotta be disciplined, offensively and defensively. If you're not, it's gonna be a bad
And you know
night.
what, too? This game only 24-13, but we were saying it seems like it should be such a bigger
Yes,
gap. But
yes.
seriously, Calgary's still in this one. We'll see what adjustments they make in the second half. Coming up, we give a little love to Charleston Hughes, who's the newest member of the Canadian Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, baby. Rod.
Half of the CFL and the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. It is my honor to tell you, Charleston Chuck Hughes, that you have been selected as a member of the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, class of 2026, my guy. Congrats, my guy. Let's go! It's about time. Congrats, my boy. Oh, man, it's love.
So Charleston Hughes is the 3rd member of the 2026 Canadian Football Hall of Fame. The 2-time Grey Cup champion is tied for the most sacks in Stampeders history, has the 5th most career sacks in CFL history, and led the league in sacks 5 different times. My favorite part of the video, as you guys just mentioned, was he was like, it's about time. You played in 2021, and technically your last year was 2022, but congratulations. I mean, what a presence in this league, so well-deserved. And Enoch, you played with him, and to see his name, I don't think any of us are shocked.
No, not at all. I mean, you know, by the time I was playing with him, I'd already seen enough of him on another opponent jersey, and it was just awesome to be on a team with him. He takes so much of the load, and you can't say that a lot about all the defensive linemen. Listen, defensive linemen are a special kind of people, but he was one of the ones that, as a defensive lineman, was smart. He knew a little bit about the coverage. He could play the run, could play the pass. His repertoire was endless, and you know, he totally deserves this. I mean, totally deserves it.
The one thing about most football players is they play football. Charleston, of course, he played football, but he enjoyed playing.
Yeah.
You see that grin he had when he was found out? That's the grin he played with when he played. I mean, that's the grin he had when he played, when he got a sack, when he was talking to players, when he was talking to the media. He just enjoyed life. He enjoyed playing every second of football. And that's what you love to see. Of course, you want to go out there and have all the stats and be in the Hall of Fame, but you want to have fun because it only lasts so long. Yes, he played a long time, but it seems like that. But I guarantee you, he looks back on his career and he said, I had a great time sacking quarterbacks, dancing, surfing, dealing with the media. So congratulations to Charleston on a great career, and I'm sure he's enjoying life after football.
Chuck wanted me to mention, he said, Enoch, you better tell him that I was cut as a rookie. So if I could do it, other guys could do it too.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so we got Charleston Hughes, we got Sean Milligan, we got Speedy B, Brandon Bangs, Millington. Yes. Tell me, of the 3 guys, who's going to be the most entertaining on the panel when we're there in Hamilton for the Hall of Fame game? This is my favorite part, by the way. When I start hearing them, I'm like, oh, these guys are joining us.
Charleston.
Chuck,
Charleston.
Hands down. Hands down, Catherine.
I don't think anyone else we've had on that panel from the Hall of Fame going to be like him. We won't have a chance to talk. He's going to be good.
Maybe he'll take one of your jobs?
Man, he's going to try.
He might.
It's must-watch TV, I guarantee you.
All right, speaking of must-watch TV, how about a little Sunday Night Football? It is the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Sans, Bo, Levi, and Mitchell, their new era begins. They're in Saskatchewan to take on the Rough Riders. Good news for the Riders, AJ Ouellette back in action. You can see our pregame with one Darius Pickett starting 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. But we have this one to finish off in Montreal right now. The Alouettes with a great first half. They're up 24-13. We will get you back with Rod Smith and Paul Appolice right after this.
halftime in Montreal, the Alouettes lead. You see a big difference in net yards, especially in the passing game. So some work for the Calgary defense with their middle linebacker, Markel Lee, standing by now with Kenzie.
Markel, we look at that first half. We saw Montreal's versatility in their offense, whether it's the explosive plays or those short sequences downfield. How can you adjust your pass coverage accordingly?
We just gotta play our defense. I mean, lock in on what we can. Stop letting them escape the pocket so much. And I mean, they're really just getting extended plays, but we just gotta lock them in the pocket and do what we need to do in the back end.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Well, Lapo, every game is different. We saw how explosive the Stampeder offense could be last week against the Argos when they put up 58, and now.
I was just thinking that what you just said. It's a humbling game sometimes.
It is, one day to the next.
Yeah, you go from last week where everything's working to the next week, we struggle a little bit. Here's the difference right now. Vernon Adams Jr. has been hurried 8 times, and he's been hit 6 times.
Right.
So the Montreal defense has gotten some pressure. They've forced them into a bunch of second and longs. They have 14 second downs. So they've done a really good job of limiting Calgary's first down productivity and forcing a lot of second downs, and they're getting to the quarterback.
So the second half begins and Calgary gets the ball first. It's McAllister taking it inside the 15. Tyreek McAllister. And he goes to his right, finds the edge, but it is ultimately Jeffrey Cantar-Arcou pushing him out of bounds. Vernon Adams Jr., 9 for 20 only, 116 and a touchdown. A much different story than it was a week ago against the Argonauts. One touchdown pass to Dejon Brissett that actually brought him back 10-10 at that time.
Yeah, got some throws on the outside, but second and long is where they've really struggled to be able to stay on the field, keep getting first down. Just haven't strung many long drives together. This nice catch right before the half led to the field goal. So they could be in a lot worse situation, right?
Up to the 41, they begin to start the second half. They are down 11. They got a late field goal to move 3 points closer. Adams throwing in first down. It's low and intended there for Jalen Philpott just across the 45, but it's incomplete.
I mean, I like the plan of attack here. Nice simple throw to the #1 receiver on the outside. You're just doing this to that. One-on-one, you've got an easy throw. Just doesn't locate the football. Some of those wider side field throws doesn't locate it. Puts him in a second and long once again. And now this is when you see everything from the defense of Montreal. Everybody lining up at the line of scrimmage, people dropping in and out. You want to stay out of this down and distance against this team.
Well, here we go at a 2nd and 10 from their 41. His 4 rushing. It is caught Tevin Jones, and he turns it up, and he keeps chugging. Good work after the catch by Jones, who works it all the way into the Alouette zone to the Montreal 50 and a gain of 19.
This is why you throw the ball underneath the stick sometimes. Lorenzo Burns is trying to come up and make the tackle. Tevin Jones just bounces inside. Burns misses it, steps out of Beverette's tackle for a big gain. You know, 8-yard gain turns into a 15-yarder. It's a good throw by Vernon, but great extra effort by Tevin Jones.
Started his career with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, was briefly here in Montreal before going to Calgary. His 2nd year with the Stampeders. Jones stays in to protect. Running play, Dedrick Mills on that first down from the 50. And
quiet night for Dedrick Mills.
It sure is.
Montreal defense doing a really nice job.
26 yards rushing in the first half, his first carry of the second.
Just bouncing outside. Hard to see. Tyrese Beverette's right there. Defensive line splitting the double teams. Mustafa Johnson, Daniel Wise.
Gains 2. 2nd and 8. The Alouette 48. They scored in their last possession of the first half. Looking to do the same in their first possession of the second half. And trying to dump it off to Mills, and Perales in his first game with the Alouettes. David Perales is right there tying up Mills. That one lofts off incomplete, and we got a 3rd down.
Tailback slow screen. And then Perales is great recognition. Here comes the screen pass going. Perales, you'll see, it's right here down at the bottom of your screen. This is going to be lineman trying to go out. He gets kind of caught up in the screen pass. He wants to go inside. You don't want to go outside the defensive end so he can, right? You want to go in. Let the defensive end go up and then get inside.
Mario Alford watches this one take a hop into the end zone, but he'll have to pick it up and give up the point. No chance of that one rolling out. So they will get it up at their 40, but they do give up a point to the Stampeders, get a little bit closer. And Montreal, Saturday night, the CFL on TSN.
What did Montreal do well in the first half? First downs on first down. Now, some of these screen plays didn't work early on, but you're setting other things up. This is a screen and go. Davis uses his legs to get open. Huge catch by Philpott. Flips the field. We get the screen pass again. Fake the screen pass. There's so many on film. Tyson Philpott with a good play. They call a lot of these short passes. Here's a stat. 8 drives in the first half. The first play of every drive, 11-yard gain. So they are giving easy throws. They're getting their first downs on first down and not having to fight with second and extra and second and long.
So here's their opening possession of the second half to Travis Tice, who had a productive first half. And has that carry and a gain of 6 for the Alouettes. You saw earlier that look of Anthony Calvillo.
One more point on that, like second and long in the first half, is second down conversions for the Montreal Alouettes has not been good. They've only got 2 conversions out of 7 attempts, but they're not in a lot of second and longs because they're getting first downs on first down. This run right here puts them in 2nd and 2. So Bob Slowick's trying to figure out, all right, we got to tackle these guys. We got to create some negative yardage plays to create those second and long scenarios.
So it's a 2nd and 4 for the Alouettes. Call it a 2nd and 3. A bit more. Oh, flea flicker. They open up the bag of tricks again, and it pays off. And it's Snead involved again. Little handoff to Tice, pitch back to Alexander. Had time to find 85 down for a gain of 25 yards.
Got a lot of extra protectors in the line of scrimmage. You cover every gap. Then Tice flips it back. And then if defenders are looking in the backfield like DBs try to do, they're going to get beat on this double move here on the flea flicker. They get beat. Snead gets behind the coverage for a big explosive play once again on a flea flicker.
All the way down to the Calgary 38. Here comes Montreal again with a 10-point lead now on the first down. Back to Tice. Works his way through. About 3 more yards. Another second down coming up here. 2nd and long now for the Alouettes. Saw that shot earlier of the offensive coordinator Anthony Calvillo, the CFL's all-time leading passer, and yeah, mixing it up as you talk about, and you gotta like to see.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago it was funny. He says, I can't throw the ball as well as Davis on some things. I'm like, whoa, hold on. I've gone against you enough. No, you can throw the ball well enough.
4-man rush, 2nd down and long, and not enough. Good defensive work there. And that's RJ Moten, excuse me, inserted in the lineup to make that tackle of Snead, and it's 3rd and a couple of yards here coming up here for Montreal.
Yeah, so difficult. Moten's in the middle. There's a lot of space right here. He's able to wrap up. And again, if he doesn't have enough oomph to stop this, this is going to be a 1 more yard gain. If Snead gets 1 more yard, they're going to go QB sneak. So really good stop. And actually, you see Montreal staying out here. They're going to try for this on 3rd and 3.
Yeah, Dustin Crum, ex-Ottawa Red Black quarterback in. Handles the short yardage, and this is long short yardage, if you will. He needs 2 yards. Try to draw him off.
Time count violation. Montreal, number 16. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
So trying to draw him off. Probably didn't have a play call. Just let's line up, do a hard count, see if they jump. It's not going to affect your field goal. Jose Maltos Diaz can handle the 5-yard penalty, then go kick the field goal.
He's 1 for 1. He is 27-yarder in the first half. Maltos Diaz does. So came in at 12 of 13. 13 of 14 now, a longest of 50. This one in easy range to be put down at about the 43 by Joseph Zima.
Great global
Timer, please
player.
reset the clock to 9:13. 9:13.
Maltos Diaz originally was part of the Red Blacks organization. I was with the Red Blacks. He was just a super individual. He used to always talk to me about, this is my fun job. I do other jobs for everything. It's football journey. He paid his dues. He waited for his opportunity. And when he had his opportunity to become the kicker in Montreal,
it is Maltos Diaz. Cue the right biceps pose. Standard for number 19 as he pumps another one through.
And Rod Smith. Rod Smith throws the right bicep up.
Yeah, no one's watching though, Lapo. I make sure I'm alone. 27-14. Yeah, there it is. It's been 8 years since the Calgary Stampeders won here in Montreal, and there's the answer to the trivia question.
Oh my God.
Lapo, Johnny Manziel was the quarterback for the Alouettes up against Bo Levi Mitchell and the Stampeders. There's Bo. And a low-scoring game, but yeah, Johnny Football didn't stick around in the CFL.
Didn't stick around. I don't think he really wanted to be up here, and yeah, I don't know how serious he took his experience up here.
For Dave Dickinson, that was the last time they picked up a win in Montreal, and right now they're down 13. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter, handing off to Dedrick Mills. Finds some room. Mills, some good running there as he keeps chugging right across midfield in the first down for Calgary.
Sometimes when you're facing these Montreal teams, they put so many people at the line of scrimmage, you're not sure how to block all these guys. Well, sometimes you just block down, pull people around. When you pull people around, you just get somebody in the line so Dedrick Mills can follow him up inside. Nice run here. Vernon Adams and company getting it first down on first down.
17 yards for Dedrick Mills, and now has 45 on the night.
Johnny Manziel.
Right.
How about Johnny Manziel?
There you go. Mills again, left side, not as much this time.
And let's go back to that. Like Johnny Manziel was an unbelievable player in college football. I loved watching
Texas A&M.
And, you know, Heisman Trophy winner. But then you get, like, as somebody who spent a career in the Canadian Football League, the arrogance of some people who come up here and think, oh, I'll just show up and I'm just going to go up and start in the CFL. I'm going to go be a great player in the CFL. You know, you got to put the work in. You got to be prepared. You got to do the things right way. And I heard none of those from my mates, from Johnny, as his preparation of trying to be a professional. So it just bothers you sometimes when people have opportunities and they don't make the most of it.
Second down and 6 after that game by Mills. Throwing deep, caught, Philpott, and down to the 10. Biggest play of the day for Jalen Philpott.
Seam passes. You throw seams in zone coverage. Montreal plays a lot of zone, but you got to recognize where the zone is. There's the hole in the defense. Burns can't get over in time. Beautiful location, beautiful throw by Vernon Adams and understanding, and Philpott just taking the seam pass versus that's a cover 3 where there's 3 deep defenders. They found the opening in that 3 deep zone. Great vision by Vernon. And don't forget, Montreal's got a lot of guys standing around the line of scrimmage, dropping out while Vernon's trying to process what the coverage is.
That's got to feel good, Lapo, on a few different levels for
They haven't had a
Philpott.
big play. Yeah, Jalen hasn't had a big play. That's the biggest play of the game for this football team offensively. Puts them right just inside the 10-yard line.
With his twin brother looking on.
We got our Philpott tracker. Here we go. There we go. Ways to go, but it's early.
Well, Jalen, still, the night is young. A lot of family here as well. As Kenzie talked about that, his mother Colleen, father Corey, and a bunch of others. Grandpa too, watching both. Loyalties divided down the middle too. Stamps football, Jalen on the field. The fake to him. The soft toss, Brissett! Touchdown number 2 for Dejon Brissett to go along with the 2 he had last week from Vernon Adams. And here comes Calgary.
Misdirection can be very difficult. You'll see people coming across. They're going to fake and then bring people on the opposite side. You're trying to get the defense to run one direction, fake the speed sweep, then bring Brissett across the formation. He gets lost in the coverage. Nice, easy throw. Not a lot of reading. I'm just looking for Brissett coming across the field. Good execution. Good drive for the Stampeders.
Set up with a big play for Philpott, but no, it stays a 7-point game. Mikitamni missing that one to the left, so it remains 27-20. But the Stamps get closer within a score. And once again, it is Dejon Brissett, the ex-Argo, finishing it off for Calgary.
Great response by the Calgary Stampeders. 4 plays, 70 yards. 17-yard run off the bat right here. Dedrick Mills gets it going. And then the big one, 38-yard pass play to Jalen Philpott, splitting the zone. And then fake the speed sweep, send somebody back across. Dijon Brissett's right there. Great response by Calgary, making this a 7-point game.
Back to within a score again. Mikitamne, who missed the extra point with the shorter kickoff, coming in as Alford. Will take that one at his 22 and get across the 30 and out of bounds before he can get to the 35. Kalon Thomas, George Adoko in there, and special teams coverage for Calgary. Back comes Davis Alexander, who is 16 for 20 for 247 yards and 1 touchdown pass.
And, you know, he's completed 80% of his passes, and I've said this all night. They don't give him too many opportunities where they're in long yardage situations. They give him a lot of short passes. The other thing they do, a lot of their pass plays come from multiple tight end sets and multiple backfield ones. Well, what's that a big deal? Right, if you do that, it minimizes how many coverages you're going to see when you have all these guys in the box.
All right, here we go now at the 34 for Montreal. Just a 7-point lead now, and back in the hands of Travis Tice. Breaking tackles and a whole lot more. Tice pushing it down inside the 35. Finally pushed out of bounds by Zy Alexander after their biggest running play of the day.
Tice is going to just go on an inside zone play to the left. Great block by Pierre-Olivier Lestage on the linebacker. Tice recognizes it, bounces in for the big explosive play. You couldn't see this on the replay, but the defensive end to the wide side of the field on Davis Alexander said, you are not going to get outside of us. So he's spreading out the defense, creating these lanes by the ability to use his legs in some of these zone read aspects of the game.
46-yard pickup for Travis Tice, who has it again. The short pass from Alexander, but this time covered well by R.J. Moten, who takes him down for a loss of about a yard.
And this is what part of the game plan. You talked to Dave Dickinson this week. He says, hey, part of this game for us, we got to wrap up. We got to tackle well, right? Moten right there is in space, having to tackle Travis Tice, has to leave his will linebacker spot, run all the way down to make that tackle. They've got to keep wrapping guys up, creating some of these second and longs.
Just his second CFL game. He played against Winnipeg back in week 1, first year out of Florida. R.J. Moten with that tackle in the loss. 2nd and 11 now, just outside the Stampeder 30. Passing play, Alexander getting chased by Sean Peterson. Gets rid of it. Caught. First down. Tyson Philpott gets back in on the act here in the second half as the sticks move again for Montreal.
Losing contain is going to get you beat. That's what happens. We're coming on the outside. Sean Peterson loses contain once again. Bob Slowick's got to be telling his guys, hey, can we play contain so this guy does not run across? We're making it way too difficult for our players in man coverage, as you see right there. You can't stay with Philpott that long. So you've got to keep contained. Keep Davis Alexander in the pocket. You got to get your rush lanes. Peterson gave up the outside. Davis made him pay.
And Tyson Philpott goes over 100 yards in this one. That was a gain of 17. CFL's leading receiver, and Derek Moncrief with a little frustration there. His hand to the face and a little finger pointing too. Thinking it should be a penalty coming up here against Montreal.
With a 15-yard misconduct penalty against Calgary number 6. 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
We're arguing against a penalty called against him, and a big one it is. It pushes the Alouettes that much closer to the end zone.
Not sure what Moncrief, haven't seen what they did.
It's a net of 32 yards with the penalty to put them on the brink of the Stampeder end zone in a 1st and goal. Just when Calgary had gotten back into the game to get it within a touchdown, Dustin Crum is in. See if they can put the Alouettes 2 touchdowns ahead again. Crum keeps it. Right side, pushing through. Touchdown Alouettes. And the 4th rushing touchdown of the season for former Ottawa Red Black, Dustin Crum.
Crum on the short yardage. Just going to fall forward. Follow the big men. Big men got to get low. Got to get their feet in the end zone. Just climb over. Keep your feet moving. Easy touchdown after the penalty.
Well, how's that a response, Lapo? Just the Stamps are getting closer. That was under 2 minutes. 1:53 of time taken on 4 plays and 76 yards, and Crum with the touchdown. And a big play to set it up before to Tyson Philpott, and then a penalty tacked on. Point after by Maltos Diaz. Once again, 14-point difference. Past the midway mark here in the third quarter. Dustin Crum did this for Ottawa. He's embracing that role again here in Montreal.
Welcome back to Montreal, where the Alouettes are celebrating the homecoming of Canadian soccer star Mimi Alidou, who's from Montreal. She even opened the cage here tonight, and Mimi joins me now on the sidelines. And you grew up with some memories on Percival Molson Stadium playing the game of soccer. When you think back to those nights, what comes to mind?
Thank you for having me. I think it's incredible. It's like a full circle moment. Like, when I played here a lot of years ago, I was younger, I was a little bit inexperienced, and I left. I went to gain knowledge and more football experience, and now I'm back here and I'm on this ground and opening up the cage of the Alouettes, and yeah, I think it's full circle. I'm really happy. Yeah.
You think after almost a decade playing abroad, now coming home, playing in the NSL, playing for your hometown team, the Montreal Roses, and where the game's at, this new era of soccer with FIFA going on now in Canada, and of course with the Canadian national women's team has done, what excites you most about where the game's going to go?
Honestly,
good job, Mimi. We're avoiding them. We're avoiding them.
I'm scared now. It's not live, eh?
So as we think ahead to the future of soccer, locally in Montreal, you're part of the fabric here, and what's to come. What excites you?
Honestly, I'm so happy to be back home. I think what they're building here in Montreal, it's to last a lot of years, and it's something that we've talked about here with the people, and it's what is the identity that this team in the city wants to have, and I think it's something that I clearly want to be a part of, and I'm so thankful to be back here home. Honestly, soccer right now is because of the World Cup and the Men's World Cup and then the Women's World Cup next year, and so many teams are doing good. I think it's a soccer moment right now in the world, and I think it's what a best time to actually support the Canadian League, support us. I think that's the perfect time.
Mimi, we appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the season with the Roses, and enjoy your night.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Guys, over to you.
Thanks, Kenzie. And yeah, honoring football and in these parts too, here at Molson Stadium, football in more ways than one. And yes, with the focus on soccer, especially in the last month.
It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, it sure has.
Games.
Sure has.
Proud of what Team Canada's done.
You bet. Now, there was an offside on the kickoff. Saw that return by McAllister. So they're going to kick it again, and Montreal back. They'll kick it from their 45 or 25 for Maltos Diaz. With a 14-point lead. 4:14 in the clock until three-quarter time. As the hole deepens for the Calgary Stampeders. Back to McAllister at the 30. And trying to find something. He cuts it back the other way. He manages to just knife his way through and get it up at the 48. A 17-yard return for Tyreek McAllister.
How about this athleticism by these two? Look at this. Oh, ref out of the way. Get out of the way, ref, as they're trying to go in. We're on the air. Hey, buddy, we're on the air, sir.
See, more of the understandable explanation when she paused like that. can see why. See the sidelines. You know, we saw that with Tom Gazzola in Edmonton the other night.
It's not easy.
You got to be careful. First and 10. Calgary 49. The toss. And around is Tevin Jones, who has some room and has some blocking. And he works his way up. Ojutaleo, the rookie receiver, 82, is the one ahead of him. And allowing him to get a few more yards and a first down for Calgary.
Nice reverse play there. That was nice.
Heard Mimi talking about it. The Roses will pay a visit to McMahon Stadium next week. It is Calgary, Montreal NSL edition. Friday, 9 Eastern, 7 Mountain. And that'll be on TSN+. First and 10 of the 44 after that gain of 16 yards by Tevin Jones. Pressure coming. They get to Adams, and down he goes. Najee Murray, the one to finish it off. There's a bunch of dark blue jerseys in there bearing down on Vernon Adams.
After a big play, you always got to be prepared about Montreal's defense. They like to bring extra defenders, pressure. You're going to see a blitz. You've got 5 players standing at the sideline, at the line of scrimmage. Here comes the 6th defender and the 7th defender. You can't block them all. The ball's got to come out of your hands. They got to protect the inside more for Vernon so he can throw off the widest. Noel Thorpe's pressure is getting to the creating second and extras.
Sutton and Murray, the extras coming in there, and Murray gets to him. So it is second and long, swinging it out to Dedrick Mills. Gets up ahead of steam. He gets it down to the Alouette 40 before he's pushed out of bounds. Still over 5 yards shy of a first down.
Don't put your quarterback in a tough position with the pass rush. Swing it out. Let your blockers block. Get the ball in space to Dedrick Mills. Put him. It's a good game. Puts him in field goal range. Get second and 17. Get him some yardage so they can kick a field goal.
Well, Mickey-Tamney's back again. This will be a 47-yard try. He had a 54 at the end of the first half. Had a 57, as mentioned, in Kelowna a couple of weeks ago. Just to get something back. After they gave up the touchdown, they do get another field goal. And we've got an 11-point ball game. 1:44 in the clock until three-quarter time, as Mickey-Tamney is now 3 for 3 in the field goals on the night.
Keep climbing back. They just need more 7s. You're going to need more touchdowns to keep up with this high-flying offense of the Alouettes.
These teams won't have to wait long to see each other again. It is next week, next Saturday night, for Jason Moss and the Alouettes at McMahon Stadium. How about those trick plays the Alouettes have run so far tonight, Lapo?
Yeah, and you're always... When you have a bye week, here's a big thing. When you come off a bye, you're going to practice these more. You're going to have them dialed up. You're going to have an extra day of practice. So you're way more comfortable with your practice reps to be able to call those trick plays after a bye week.
Back to the ground, just across the 40.
And as a coordinator myself, too, like I always hated playing like Noel Thorpe after a game, after a bye week, because I knew he was going to have some wrinkle to his defensive coverage. He was going to have some different things. Same thing here with Anthony Calvillo here. Hey, remember this trick play we did in training camp? We liked it a lot. Hey, we got an extra day of practice after the bye. Let's make sure we have that ready. So bye weeks, you better be defensively ready for all these trick plays coming that every team has within their system.
So 4 yards for Travis Tice. It's a 2nd and 6 for the Alouettes. Still on top of this game by double digits, up by 11. Faking the handoff, and then over the middle and caught. And that is Cassine Ferdinand with another catch on the night. Ferdinand getting his chance with some of the injuries they've had in the receiving corps. And a few more catches on the evening. That's a gain of 12.
And the nice thing is, quarterbacks in this league got to be able, if they're going to do so many zone reads where they pull the ball, you're always going to have defenders in your face. Davis Alexander's got the good knack of being able to throw through defenders, around defenders. He can move his arm angles to get that ball out to Cassine. Great throw.
Just on the other side of midfield in the Calgary 54. Seconds ticking down until three-quarter time. Back to Tice. Breaks him left. And he is tackled after he gets to about the 48. That's Kyle Wilson. Or excuse me, yeah, the 52-yard line. Pardon me. Second down and long, still ahead. The Alouettes opened their season with an overtime win in Hamilton. Came back home and opened up with a narrow victory over the Argos. Lost in Edmonton and then came back and narrowly beat Ottawa a couple of weeks ago by just 2 points before heading into the bye. But leading the East to 3-1. Here's Tice again at midfield. 50 and putting his head down and around the 45. That is close to another first down at the end of 3 quarters. And Montreal driving into the Stampeder territory, looking to add to that lead. Some of the halftime entertainment, a wild ride, continues for the Stamps and Owls as well. Coming up here. Owls start the fourth quarter with the ball and also the 11-point lead. And well, we were billing this not only the Philpott twins, but also big play quarterbacks, VA against DA, Davis Alexander. And so far, he has been the better of the two, Lapo.
Yeah, and Davis Alexander, his numbers are spectacular from completion percentage. His yardage is jumping up, but early in this quarter it was only 200 yards. But you can't underestimate how many things Davis Alexander does with his legs, with his arm angles, making plays to keep this football team on the field. Creates first downs, and again, when you have a lot of stuff in your system in your offense, why are the trick plays showing up? Because he stays on the field. He gets a lot of plays, gives his offense coordinator a chance to call other things.
And he's not on the field right now, Lapo, because of a short yardage situation here for Crum. To start the fourth quarter, Crum got a touchdown earlier, lunges ahead, and looks like he has it to keep this drive going.
Yeah, certainly. And it's interesting, I think about Anthony Calvillo as his offensive coordinator who, played with Mark Trestman, and what they run right now looks very different than what Anthony Calvillo is. And that was a drop back West Coast offense. We're throwing quick outs with all this different routes, where this is much more play action, quick screens, different, get the ball in our hands. So it's really cool to see Anthony's progression, working with Jason Moss, how they want to control this great young quarterback.
Now, it was interesting to see Calvillo's progression, too, when he arrived from Hamilton, backing up Tracy Ham back in the early 2000s, came into his own, won a Grey Cup under Don Matthews, and later, you're right, it was the arrival of Mark Trestman and that different style that revitalized Calvillo's career, which didn't end until 2013. Hall of Famer. And calling the plays now for Alexander. Gives it to Tice, and Jalen Hutchings says, no, I don't think we're going to let you go any further.
We asked Davis Alexander what it's like having Anthony Calvillo, and he's like, it was so great. He'll talk to me about how he prepared as a pro, and then I get information on that. But then he also tells me, you still got to be you. I want you to do the things that get you ready to be prepared. But he says he loves the work ethic, Anthony Calvillo, and everything. Hey, I'm a guy from New Hampshire, so all my high school buddies used to come up to these games when I first started out in the league, and my buddies used to be like, you keep losing to Montreal. We will come up and visit when that Calvillo guy retires. Didn't happen for a while.
No, he was around for a long time and has the passing yardage to show more than anyone else in the league's history. And here's Alexander, the young QB. Looked like he put his left hand on his hamstring just before he threw that away. Of course, that's seems fine, but enough to make anybody gasp after they remember what he went through last year.
One of the few times Calgary gets him in a second and extra. They pressure, force him to scramble, and then throw it away.
And he heads off. It's 3rd and 11. They have to punt it away. And Alexander 20 of 25. 282, and under different circumstances would have easily gone over 300 yards. A touchdown called back with a penalty, but another field goal attempt coming up here for Jose Maltos Diaz, with Tyreek McAllister back and flags coming out.
Time count violation. Montreal, number 36. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Well, that'll do that, because that one was going to be from about 53. So Maltos Diaz slowly wanders back to the sideline, and Zima, who had been the holder and gets flagged for the time count, will stay on to punt it away.
So the time count, yeah, could possibly certainly takes the opportunity to kick the field goal out there. Tyreek McAllister back there returned one a couple weeks ago. They got a decent lead here. They're going to kick it away, let their defense play.
And we've seen how electric returners can change a game quickly. McAllister's one of them. He gets that one way over near the sideline and doesn't have any options as he heads on out after a good punt of 46 yards for Joseph Zima. Jason Moss, he's leading. Often you look and you'd never know it, though. Little frustration he's venting there here in Montreal, fourth quarter. Well, the Alouettes lead, but this is a concerning sight, Lapo. Memories of last year as you see Davis Alexander just reach down slightly on that left hamstring.
Yeah, and then he's right now gone into the room. He's going to go get looked at. Dustin Crum is warming up and getting ready to play quarterback, so we'll see how Davis Alexander is.
Now, you could understand their precaution, so not suggesting anything serious, but you could certainly understand the Alouettes not wanting to take any chances with their prize QB as Crum warms up, and they have the lead by 11. Vernon Adams, timed up by Lorenzo Burns, but Eric Brooks does hang on to the football.
Great play by Burns, recognizing there's always holes in the defense, but like sometimes if you have your eyes to what the quarterback's doing, Burns is it. You can't even see him. He's in the screen, but he's going to show up real quick. They're going to throw it to this dead spot in the defense, but here comes Burns. He knows it, and he's going to drive it. Great little timing and great catch by Brooks not to get hit with contact and drop the ball.
So down near the 20. Second down and 4. Flag is out. It is caught by Jalen Philpott, which would be enough for a first down pending the flag.
Going to get an offsides here on the left side of the screen.
Offside, Calgary, number 87. It's 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
5 yards further back for Dave Dickinson.
Okay, you're going to see here as they're coming up. See, I think it's Brooks here, ends up past the line of scrimmage, definitely early.
Push back to the 15. And a 2nd and 9. Four-man rush. Adams, they get him again. Again. Mustafa Johnson. Another sack to his total, his 3rd of the season. Had one last week as well. But this one will force the Stampeders to kick it away deep in their zone.
He's going to get a big twist coming as he comes around the horn. He's got to get all the way around. This is hard. He's got to become the contained player. Does a great job coming all the way around. Vernon feels that there's a space there. I'm going to start taking off. Not so fast.
Sit at the 51. And a flag comes out on, looks like a block to the back by Tyrell Richards. So this will be pushing the Alouettes a little further back after that return.
Penalty on a return.
Mustafa Johnson, always a force inside. And on that twist, he adds to the Alouettes sack total. Pleased to say that Davis Alexander seems just fine. All smiles in the huddle, and we were wondering when he reached for that left hamstring, but and saw Dustin Crum warming up, but Jason Moss sending him right back out again with this 11-point lead. So he said you could understand the way it was. There's Crum. You could understand the way it was last year, though, that they will be very careful handling Alexander in a scenario like that. $20 for 25 for 282 and a touchdown. And quickly gets it out to Tyson Philpott across midfield. Philpott's impressive night continues as he gets close to another Alouette first down.
Not going to go broke, put money in the bank. 2 receivers out there. You block one of them, make the corner come down, make the play. Easy completion. Put the ball in playmaker's hands, let him get north-south, 9-yard gain on first down.
And an impressive 300 straight completions without throwing a pick for Davis Alexander, who heads off in the 2nd and 1.
I think he's 44 away from the record of Darian Durant's. I think Darian did 344.
And it's a little sweep there for Philpott, the first down and short yardage and a whole lot more. Tyson Philpott's big night continues. 16 more yards on the ground down to the 35.
So everybody in these quarterback sneaks, you always have something that attacks the edge. So because everybody packs inside to stop the wedge, so sooner or later you're going to go hand it off, block the perimeter people, get the ball on the outflank, because it's very difficult when you have all those bodies in on those short yardage trying to protect the quarterback. All the DBs have to walk up too, and if they're in the wrong gap or if they get reached, it's a big play.
138 combined yards for Tyson Philpott with that first running play, and he gets 16 on that and a first down. Faking to Tice. Alexander flushed out and throws on the move, and a flag is out too as it sails out of bounds.
Wanted a screen play over to his left-hand side. A good decision.
Legal contact, Calgary, number 45. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
Good decision, not throwing it, scrambling away. Benny Sapp draws the penalty here on the illegal contact. Contact after 5 yards downfield.
Benny Sapp, who's in his second year in the league, he was with Saskatchewan last year.
Just showed up 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Well, all the injuries that they've had in their secondary too, they've had to make steady changes in the back end of that defense. Down to the 25 now. Alouettes. And another running play to Philpott, who puts his head down, and he keeps working his way down close to another first down. Well, that's it. Sorry, goes down as a pass for Tyson Philpott.
Just get speed and space and block down. You got people coming. Fuller and Orilimilade did a great job. Recognize this. He see how he turns it back inside to his help to limit this gain from the big play, big flow on the outside, making a good job. But again, creativity, flip through your Rolodex. How do I get Tyson touches different ways?
Handed off to him the last time. That's a little touch pass, so that goes in his receiving stats for Philpott. It's now 9 catches for 132 and a touchdown, plus the 16-yard carry, and 3 receivers out to the right. Faking to Tice, looking to the right, down near the goal line, but no, and a flag comes out intended for Kasim Ferdinand. And there's an argument from the Stampeders on that flag. Zy Alexander right in on Ferdinand.
I think it appeared from up here that he made contact before the ball was there.
Pass interference, Calgary, number 33. It's going to be first down at the spot of the foul.
Looked from up here that he made contact with the back early, but those 2 angles didn't show it much.
Calgary is challenging the ruling on the previous play of pass interference. Play will be reviewed.
By the way, Davis Alexander, though, at 301 in passing yardage, 9th career game over 300 yards. So a challenge to a penalty that would have the Alouettes right on the doorstep. And first and goal, looking to get the touchdown that could put this one away halfway through the 4th quarter. Waiting for a decision as the replay center looks at that. Was that PI?
Now remember, on pass interference from the replay center, anytime they talk about pass interference, they are not going to play this slow motion. They're not going to play it. They're going to watch it live and make a decision, because they don't want to be analyzing every little angle. They want to make did this happen early? Was the contact clear and obviously early? That angle, I thought it was a little bit, but we'll see. It may. I don't know if that was too early. I think it'll be overturned.
After review by the replay center, the ruling on the field hasn't been overturned. There is no defensive pass interference on the play. It's going to be second down.
Okay, so a good challenge by Dave Dickinson. Just what you talked about, Lapo, as they looked at that again at game speed and say no PIs. The ball is at the Calgary 15. And it is an 11-point game. And Stamp's best wishes now is just to hold Montreal to a field goal. Davis Alexander in. sets up a draw for Tice, and they had him pretty quickly there. He is stuffed in behind the line, and so the field goal scenario is coming up here for Montreal.
It's a great stop by Calgary, great drive stop, because you know this just makes it a 14 after this field goal's made, make it a 14-point game, 2 scores anyways. Good push. Watch Brown. He basically, Miles Brown drives the center right into the draw play to be able to make the play.
But with hopes fading for the Stampeders, a touchdown though would have made it a 3-score game. This at least with the field goal keeps it to 2, and there's the 25-yard field goal for Jose Maltos Diaz from Monterrey, Mexico, and the Nueva Leon. Vernon Adams has some work to do. He's won back here with a new team, did with the BC Lions in his first return back to as a starter against the Montreal Alouettes, but trailing right now 37-23, 2 touchdowns behind, and under 6:20 now here in the 4th quarter. Back and eludes the pressure. He steps up and trying to hit Tevin Jones with Don Callis right there with him, and timing that up, 2nd down.
Pre-snap, you see a lot of guys standing around the line of scrimmage, but that's not Montreal's MO. You see all these guys standing at the line of scrimmage. Hey, we're going to pressure and we're going to blitz you. When the ball snapped, nope, they drop out and they only rush 5 players. Vernon climbs, but sometimes he throws to the wide side of the field. It's a long way to be in the air. Don Callis is there. Ball's a little bit too far inside. Callis is in a position to make the play.
2nd and 10, under 6 minutes to go here at Molson Stadium in Montreal. 4-man rush. Adams steps up again, and this time he takes off. Slides for the first down and takes a hit coming in. His old teammate, Micah Alway, a former Stampeder too, by the way, and Deontay Demery takes exception to that, but flags all over the field.
Very late by Micah Alway. You can see the frustration by the offensive lineman. You just can't draw a 2nd penalty. So climb the pocket, take off, knows the yardage for the first down. This is just late. Then the linemen all get involved, and they're going to go protect their guy. You can see them starting to walk in, and then Demery, I believe, delivered a blow late. He may get called for a penalty after the fact. Either way, Mike Alway delivers a blow to the head. There will be a penalty on this play.
Well, that would be the frustration for the Stampeders if after that penalty against Alway, if they end up getting one against themselves because of the reaction. So they're still sorting it out. There were several flags on the field, and some coming out after that flag to Alway. Mike Alway, first year back in Montreal, been with the BC Lions a few times, and then a couple of years ago had been with Calgary.
Got to be real cautious as the quarterback starting to put his slide down, especially because as you go to dive, you can't still deliver a blow to the head. You got to protect you got to make sure you don't deliver a blow to the quarterback's head. But whether Deontay Demery will trigger a penalty.
There are 2 fouls on the previous play. Roughing the passer, Montreal, number 2. We have a 15-yard misconduct penalty against Calgary, number 60. It's going to be first down, Calgary.
So first down, but just not as far up as they could have been after the penalty against Alway.
Okay, there's the roughing the passer right there. And then after the play, you see Demery coming in on Mike Alway. Now, if Demery gets a second one of these, he would be thrown out of the game.
So they do get it up to their 51, down 2 touchdowns. And the clock starting to work against them now. Adams, short pass, Clark Barnes down to about the 52 of the Alouettes with Wesley Sutton on the tackle.
Talk about a 10-year veteran with Vernon Adams, going tempo to go, you're playing these plays faster. Get the ball to your hands, take the underneath throw to get yourself a 7-yard gain. Early in his career, he used to take the deep shots, just looking for the deep shots.
2nd and 2 after that 8-yard pickup. Barnes. Adams with time. And a flag comes out. He was looking for Jalen Philpott that time.
You're always worried the longer the quarterback's holding the ball, will a holding penalty come? We shall see.
Holding, Calgary, number 67. It's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Well, that hurts. You're a Stampeder fan as they go back the other way.
Zach Williams, left guard, draws this penalty. You can see him right here. There's our left guard. And I think he ends up in a hold right here as he loses contain right here. Right there, he's got to let go of it.
From a 2nd and 2 to a 2nd and 12 after the hold inside their 50. 4-man rush again. Off to the right. Near the first down. Knocked away by Callis. Right there. A lot of coverage. Robert Kennedy there as well on Jalen Philpott. But it was Callis who timed it up again nicely to knock it away.
Don Callis is seeing the routes that are going to happen. It's going to be an out route with a clear out. But Don's going to just give enough. He's going to climb just enough. You watch the top of your screen. He's climbing, waiting, and then he drives it on the underneath play. Great recognition of pattern reading by that field corner, Don Callis, seeing the route and be able to go make a play on it.
So there's 4:39 on the clock here at Molson Stadium. The Stampeders have called the timeout on a 3rd and 12.
Holding call, you know, they were sitting at 2nd and 2, 3rd, and they could have been in 3rd and 2 here. Easy conversion. Now this makes it a tougher one, and they're not even going to try for it on 3rd and 12.
They will punt it. Bassett standing at his 35. Back for Alford.
Brutal penalty. If you're 3rd and 2, 3rd and 5, you're probably going for it.
Travis Tice is back there as well for the Alouettes. Alford to take it at the 20. Punt to 41 yards. Up across the 30, and here we go again. More flags coming out. Tempers flaring after the play is over. Well, how about the Philpott twins? And Tyson especially early on in this game, Lapo.
Yeah, a couple of beautiful catches down the sideline. Watch this recovery to find this ball in the air and adjust to it in the air. Philpott on the sideline and a couple misdirection plays after quarterback scrambling. Jalen down the seam. And again, that's a great catch because he gets a catch with contact and he's able to keep the contact. Philpott around the defense, a little speed sweep. I love how they got different ways to get these guys to football. I love that Jalen Philpott's playing the boundary slot where there's a lot of footballs
against Calgary, number 19. Be 1st down, Montreal.
So Quincy Vaughn in that play going out of bounds. Alford. Vaughn is flagged for unnecessary roughness, and yeah, for Jalen Philpott, Stampeders now just a little over 4.5 minutes to go, and Montreal has the football up by 14 points.
It's our tracker. Nine catches. Tyson.
They both had big games the last time they played. Last week for Jalen in that big victory over the Argonauts. Jalen had 7 catches, 83 yards, couple of touchdowns. And Tyson, before that, the week earlier, there's Colleen Purcell, mother of the Philpott twins, and it was Tyson against Ottawa 2 weeks ago at 12 catches, 198. And leads the CFL in receiving, but.
Yeah, for those wondering, on the back of her jersey, the back of the jersey is Montreal Alouettes, front of the jersey is Calgary Stampeders. She's not playing favorites, Rod.
By the way, 29 fantasy points for Tyson Philpott tonight. I keep track of that stuff. Damon Webb coming in on the tackle, and Travis Tice to help out with Falarin Rimolade. Got him low, but clock keeps ticking, and it's a 2-touchdown cushion for Tice and the Alouettes.
I can remember the Philpotts like Tyson and Jalen watching their Calgary film, and it was great to watch because you got both players on both teams. Jalen had way more explosive plays, I think. but you really saw Tyson getting a lot of the underneath stuff and using his legs and being able to do some of the speed sweep stuff. So Jalen was the deep threat, and Tyson was kind of more the underneath guy, but it's kind of both for Tyson Philpott nowadays.
Deep look, looking for Philpott, nearly. Just dropped down in his hands there, not quite. Another deep ball by Alexander, and sets up a third down, but he's already had a very good night. It was nearly that much better.
I think we have an ISO of this. We can take a look at him in the one-on-one. Good separation. Just misses at the top. He's got good high hands going up for it. Just drifts just to the left of him. He couldn't track it all the way to the left part of his shoulder.
So heading down to the 3-minute warning here on the punt by Joseph Zima. Oh, nearly blocked it. Calgary could have used that. Tyreek McAllister. After a punt of 45, he turns it up. He's got something going. McAllister stayed inside, and a great return for Tyreek McAllister. Really made something out of that as he turned it back the other way. Dangerous returner. Seeing another example of it. When Calgary needs it most, they need 2 touchdowns, and they need it in a hurry. Stampeders needed a big return from Tyreek McAllister, and they got McAllister going here.
Starts going one direction, then he just gets turned back inside as players show up. Very hard for the defense. You see Tyrell Richards trying to get a piece of him. Great adjustment of just flipping the field, turning. Let me see what I can get on the other way. Squirts out the other side for a big gain there and flipping the field to help this Stampeders offense have a short field.
42-yard return down to the Alouette 33. They need a touchdown fast, though. We get 2:50 on the clock now. They're down by 14 points. Vernon Adams swinging it out. Dedrick Mills lost his feet. Didn't have a chance to turn it up with a head of steam as he lost his footing and just picks up a couple of yards.
Just so important when you're calling screen passes and behind the line of scrimmage passes. You have to throw the ball accurately. You always talk to your quarterbacks. You got to be deadly accurate on these. He throws it on the back shoulder of Mills, so now Mills can't get the ball in his hands and can't be ready to make a defender miss.
2nd and long. Stepping up again. Going to take off again. Adams. And he gets tripped up by Tyrese Beverett, finished up by Callis, and close to first down. But academic now anyway, or 3rd down and whatever. They got to be going 3-down football from here on in.
They'll do their tempo quarterback sneak so they can get right up on the ball right after.
As Adams stays in, it is a 3rd and 1. Keeps it, flags out.
Probably be a Montreal offsides. See, the defensive line, when you go faster and you go with tempo, sometimes the defense, they don't have enough time to get set,
Offside,
get lined up.
Montreal defensive line.
Yep.
5-yard penalty, first down, Calgary.
One of the advantages you love about doing those tempo quarterback sneaks is you can get the defense line up offsides because you're going so fast.
So they move it down just inside the 20. 2:25. And they have to be thinking about finding the end zone and then an onside kick. Have a chance here. Pump fake. Adams takes a look and gets it. Touchdown Calgary. Vernon Adams Jr. to Clark Barnes. And that gets the Stampeders a little bit closer with 2:17 on the clock here in the 4th quarter.
Pass rush doesn't get home. He scrambles, finds some space, and he's just waiting for the zone coverage to break down. When is the zone coverage going to break down? Where can I find? He's looking to his right, starts scrambling to his left. Sees Clark Barnes in a good spot, just sitting in the zone. Great response by the Stampeders, much needed, and didn't take too much time off the clock.
Well, his 2nd straight week with a touchdown, had one last week in that spree by VA against the Argos. But trying to keep them all pumped up. 4 plays, 33 yards in 33 seconds with the point after. It is a 7-point difference.
You can see Vernon looking to his right, then his legs come into play just like Davis Alexander early in the day. Sit down and zone by Clark Barnes, finding the spot. This is huge. They got their points. They got everything they need. Now they just need to get a huge stop by their defense. Get a stop, get you another opportunity for a score.
So forget onside, kick it deep, and rely on your defense with 2:17 on the clock.
Let's not forget the big punt return. You know, the hard part about playing the Montreal Alouettes, this is a team that didn't turn the ball over. They don't have a turnover. They haven't turned the ball over tonight offensively. So you never get short fields when you face a team that doesn't turn the ball over offensively. How do you create short fields? Special teams, big return.
For you as a head coach, how little time would there have to be left in this situation to go onside? Do an onside kick.
Well, with 2:17, you're always going to kick it away.
You're going to kick it deep.
You're talking about 35 is when you're starting to think about.
Under 1.5?
Yeah.
Alford at the 15. And he hits his own teammate, Regis Sibasu, as he spins around and goes down. It's up to the Stampeder defense now. 2:12 on the clock, and that'll leave Vernon Adams and that offense with enough time they can get the ball back.
So you got to be ready for some quick throw on the outside to Tyson Philpott. Some type of quick screen pass is going to be something that's going to be very high percentage for this Montreal team. You never know. Calvillo may do another trick play. Who knows? Could take a shot play right here if you're getting man coverage.
Keep him guessing at the 29. Davis Alexander and a first down and into the hands of Travis Tice, who tries to get through the hole on the left side, but there's not much there. And a couple of yards and a second and long ahead here for Montreal, and a big second down for Calgary.
Good decision. Run the ball on first down. Make sure you at least take time off the clock. If you had an incomplete pass there, yeah, you had a good opportunity to get more yardage, but you're not going to burn any time off the clock. But here you'll burn.
The Stamps can get a stop here. Still plenty of time, actually, as it ticks down. Under 2 minutes to go now. 1:58 and counting. 2nd and 8 at the Alouette 31. A 7-point difference. Montreal ahead. Alexander knocked at the line and knocked away, and they get their big defensive play. So it falls incomplete. It's a 3rd and 8 coming up, and Calgary should get the ball at a decent spot on the field with 2 returners going back.
I think Peterson was involved. You see all these guys stand on the line of scrimmage. When the ball snapped, a couple of them drop out as they're trying to get home. Really good by Peterson, just throwing his hands up and making the play. Sean Peterson Jr.
McAllister at a big return to help set up their short drive for a touchdown last time around. Eric Brooks is with him. The punt from Joseph Seaman. Sends it off left for McAllister. That is 36. A 43-yard punt. Nowhere to go.
Great coverage.
Coverage is great, yes, by the Alouettes. And Vernon Adams Jr. has time. 1:35 on the clock. And needs to drive them down for another touchdown. Calgary with a 2-2 record. They lost their opener after Adams had scored a touchdown. Winnipeg came back for a walk-off field goal winner. Their next game against Saskatchewan went to overtime, and then they got in the win column against the Lions and again last week against the Argos. Here we go. It's caught by Jalen Philpott. A timely catch for Jalen as it's across midfield and a first down.
You'll watch Jalen just wrap the linebacker. You just throw it to a space and hope you're higher than the linebacker. Beverett can't get there. Great location, great catch.
Gain of 21, swinging it out to Dejon Brissett. There's a couple of touchdowns in this game and a good pickup down to about the 36 of the Alouettes as the Stampeders are moving quickly.
Good vision by Vernon Adams. There was a pressure, there was a blitz. Too many players to protect. Throw it out to Dejon Brissett. He's by himself. You make blocks on the perimeter. He can get the big play for the first down. So good recognition by Vernon Adams. Seeing a blitz. So you see all these players coming. You're going to see blitzing off the edge here. Once those players show up as they roll it right here. Here comes everybody. Flip it out there. See how there's nobody covering them? You got to make your blocks on the perimeter long enough for Dejon Brissett to get around the edge. Good recognition by Vernon. Good play design. Having an answer versus Nothorpe's going to blitz you after you have an explosive play. So good understanding by Pat Delmonico, Dave Dickinson of the game plan ahead.
That is Don Callis. The Alouettes secondary down. You saw his teammate Nate Boschman making the tackle on Brissett, run into him. But Dejan Brissett, top receiver for the Stampeders on the night. He has 5 catches on 8 targets, 86 yards, and has scored a couple of touchdowns from Vernon Adams. So here we go. 1:19 on the clock. What a finish here in Montreal. All of a sudden now they're at the Alouette 36, and they have a 1st and 10 as Callis, who started at field corner, has to head off. And it looks like taking his spot, number 31, Fayon Hicks, in the field corner position. See if Adams goes to work on him. At a critical point in this game, 1:19. At one point, the Alouettes had led by 14. Off to the right, 4 receivers.
Well, they're going to come out to zone here. Here comes.
And then it's Jones moving across. The handoff to Mills. Pulling his way down inside the 30. Coming in to help with the tackle is Wesley Sutton.
Tried to pop one of those in before the pressure got there. Good tackle chasing on the backside. You'll see a couple guys jumping in on the backside, come running in at the end. Nigel Murray trying to force that ball to go to the left.
2nd and 3. Back to the ground. Ludwig Choquette with his first carry of this ball game, and has enough for the 1st down for the Stampeders. Choquette from Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, Quebec.
55 seconds left to go in a little, what you call a sugar huddle, real quick. Get up to the line of scrimmage.
And he stays in the backfield. Mills on the sideline. Adams wants to throw it quickly. Instead, he checks it over to Choquette, who turns it up. Gets down closer to the 20. 39 seconds to go in the 4th quarter.
Forces Vernon to go away from his primary all the way back to his check down on the other side of the field. The defense does a really good job showing one look. Vernon can't throw to where he's originally looking at. Has to throw the check down.
Choquette drafted in 2025 out of Long Island. Adams caught by Barnes, who's hit immediately at the 15, shy of the 1st down. Lorenzo Burns on the coverage. 3rd down coming up, 25 seconds to go.
Timeout, Calgary.
Barnes on the underneath throw. Good come up by Lorenzo Burns, making the stop, forcing the 3rd and short.
Ball is down just shy of the 15, and they have to get it to about the 12. A 3rd and 3, 25 seconds to go.
Better have an answer versus if they blitz you and bring too many players. Better have an answer versus they're going to press you up and play man coverage across the board.
Moments ago, they were down near this area. It was a touchdown toss to Clark Barnes. But this is a 3rd and 3. Here we go. Knocked away! Ball game. David Perales. And a nice debut for him. Has just forced the turnover on downs with 20 seconds to go.
Perales is on the inside, and Vernon's getting the ball out of his hands quickly. He sees there's going to be a dead spot in this defense because all these guys are lined up, but watch Perales. So he starts to rush, and then he's just waiting. He's going to throw his hands up, knowing the ball is going to come out quickly. Vernon going into that spot. Great play by, as you said, Dave Perales' first start, making plays by not rushing the passer, just throwing his hands up and knocking the ball down.
20 seconds, they can just take a knee and put this game to bed. For Davis Alexander and the Montreal Alouettes. Handshake time as the Owls stay on top of the East and improve their record to 4-1. As the Calgary Stampeders, after winning 2 straight, fall to 2-3. A night for the Philpots, and especially for that man, Tyson Philpott. Big first half, scored a touchdown, and no matter what for Mom, it was a good side and a not so good side. One son wins and the other does not. It's Corey Philpott and Jalen too. Had some moments, big catch in the second half, but ultimately for his team, just not enough, as Calgary's losing drought in Montreal now extends another year, the last one coming in 2018, last time they beat the Alouettes here. But they will meet again, the Philpotts again, part 2, and that'll be in Calgary next Saturday night at McMahon Stadium.
Yeah, just hard for both teams across the country and go perform at a high level, going all the way across the country. But another big win for Davis Alexander as he continues to grow, and this team continues their launch to stay first place in the East.
This time, it's the Alouettes at home again. All the talk of the Philpott twins in that quarterback matchup, but it was a good start for Montreal, ultimately prevailing, and it wraps up this week with Saskatchewan and Hamilton from Mosaic. That'll be tomorrow. These two teams meet again in Calgary next week. World Cup quarterfinal action, Argentina, Switzerland. We're going to join it in progress here on TSN. Have a great night.